Pound.
In a world,
Shut the hell up.
where Carolina Panthers fans
Anthony from Charlotte, keep motherfucking pounding.
have an insatiable thirst
I need to see a lot more of that shit going forward.
for Panthers news and opinions.
All my C3 brethren from the C3 Legion.
Only one podcast roars ferociously.
The longest running Panthers podcast on the internet.
It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
Oh, Greg, I owe y'all $100, man.
What's up, Panther fans? It's Tuesday night, 9 p.m., and you're listening to the C3 Panthers podcast. The Carolina Panthers are 7-7, kind of tied for the division, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have the better division record. So if they were to make the decision today, the Bucs would get the nod and win the division. But the Carolina Panthers have an opportunity still to win that division and still make the playoffs by beating the Bucs twice. It's probably what it's going to require, I think, unless you're going to find some other ways that the Bucs lose and the Panthers split and maybe get one against the Seahawks. There might be an outside way in there. But the Carolina Panthers still have their destiny in their own hands, as they still have to face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers twice. They'll be doing that this Sunday. But unfortunately, that's coming off a 20-17 disheartening loss to the New Orleans Saints, where the Carolina Panthers really, truly had the opportunity to state their claim for the NFC South for the first time in almost in a decade, in a sense. And it's been tough, rough on the Panther fans. And Dave Canales is calling for Bank of America to be loud in their effort to salvage or to get back in that playoff mix. My name's Tony Dunn. It's the C3 Panthers podcast. I'm here with my wheelman, Cody Lack. What's up, my man?
Tony Dunn. Listen, like I said on the post-game show, as disheartening as that performance was against the New Orleans Saints, the Carolina Panthers still have everything we want out in front of us. We just have to go and get it, man. And as always, we have a slam-packed show for you fans tonight. We're going to talk about Dave Canales refusing to call a quarterback sneak with his 190-pound quarterback. We'll talk about the defensive struggles and what that means for Ejiro Evero going forward. Former Panthers quarterbacks Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold standing in our way to NFC South playoff crown. And did Tedoroa McMillan hit a rookie wall? Tony Dunn, we're going to talk about all that and more. And you know there's nowhere I'd rather be on a Tuesday night than sitting here with my boys talking Panthers football with the best damn Panthers fans in all of YouTube. We got Harvey London, Loud Pack Luke, what's up? Panther Gal in the building, Preston Martin, Rock Rhyme, The Conscious BXC, Tim Stellings, Tony Dunn. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
The number is 252-228-5098. That's 252-228-5098. Get into the cat calls. We'll get your call in early and often. Let you guys be a part of this conversation. Can the Carolina Panthers find a way to get this to win this division still? Can they salvage the season? Well, it's actually been a very good season, but sadly, it depends on what week you look at the Carolina Panthers. If you think it's a good season or a bad season, last week or last 2 weeks is a great season. This past week is a bad season. And it feels like despite the Carolina Panthers having 7 wins, that this season, maybe because we're tasting the greatness or the goodness of success, that then failure tastes that much worse. CK, the Carolina Panthers currently have a 23% chance to make the playoffs. If they win this week against the Bucs, that changes to 45%. If they lose, they have a 6% chance of making the playoffs. This game is very consequential, important for the Carolina Panthers. And I know you weren't here for the post game. What are your thoughts on this? Good. Welcome to the show,
man. That was a hard game to watch. And not because I felt like we weren't the better team. I do think that it's hard to argue that our team wasn't better when on the field. It's just it's hard to overcome dumb mistakes from our players, from our coaches, and also from the refs. That's a hard thing for any team to overcome. And no matter what their skill level is, And so that is what I took from Sunday. Now, moving into what we have is a pivotal, coming 2 weeks or 3 weeks. What do you say our record has been? It's been win-loss, right? But since week 5 or something like that?
Yeah.
Just if we do that, if we could just maintain that same level of performance
and consistency.
Yeah, even if we just do win-loss, just continue that, we'd win the division.
Yeah.
Because the next one means that, if we continue to be where 1 week we're good, the next week we're not, all this stuff. If we continue that, the next week against the Bucs is going to be a good week. The week against the Seahawks is going to be terrible. And then the week after that is going to be a fantastic week against the Bucs. And then we win. If we sweep the Bucs, we win the division.
But see, how about this too? The Panthers have their best performances when we're underdogs. And we're almost assuredly to be underdogs in all 3 of those matchups. So You never know, man. As much as this team is incredibly bipolar, we've been saying that all year, they still have the opportunity to even have a home playoff game. That's how bad this division is, but that's what you got to do. You got to win the division you're in.
Tonight's show, painfully inconsistent Panthers are still viable for the NFC South crown. And the post-game show, Cody said to me, he said, it's week 14, and I still honestly don't know what this team is. And I responded by saying we actually do know exactly who they are. They are consistently inconsistent or consistent that every other week. The not should have Panthers, the not should have beat the shouldn't have Panthers, shouldn't have beat the Rams, shouldn't have beat the Packers, shouldn't have had all these comeback wins, shouldn't have had a defense as good as it's been. They shouldn't have lost to the Saints twice as well, and they shouldn't have lost that game. And this team would have been much different if we would have been thinking about them, no matter how ugly it was at the end, if they had won 20-17 over the Saints. It is a tremendously different outlook. Who is this team, CK?
I don't know. I don't even know that they know.
That's my point. No one knows.
No, it's, and I don't think that's unfair to say either. I mean, I think that all of them would agree that what we've seen from them has been less than ideal, right? I mean, I can't imagine that these guys feel like they've performed at a high level. Not this week, but I mean, the part of this that's tough is again, we go 1 week, this team's the best. The next week, this team's the worst. The next week, we cannot figure it out ourselves. Nobody can. It's been an ongoing, it's almost been a laughing thing. We've been better than we should be, but we've also been worse than we should be. It doesn't, we're an enigma of the NFL. And I think it is legitimately an ongoing joke amongst media pundits about the fact that the Panthers you can't figure them out. There's no way to, ascertain as to what we are going to be 1 week to the next, outside of maybe the AB aspect of our performances.
This is an interesting comment in the chat, Cody, before we jump into the show. Salesman brought this up. Thanks, Salesman, for joining the show. Great Panther fan. Great follow on X. He said, NFL just announced that they erroneously reversed an on-field ruling of the fourth quarter catch by McMillan.
I saw this and I didn't know if it was real or not. This is real?
I just Googled it, and Pro Football Talk, this is the story. I mean, and he is Salesman just cited the headlight verbatim, right? So, I mean, Mike Florio writes this. He said, Sunday's game between the Panthers and Saints included a key play that resulted in a ruling of a reception being overturned by a replay review. Per a source with knowledge of the situation, the league privately admitted to the Panthers after the game that the ruling of a catch should not have been overturned.
Dude, is that not the dumbest fucking thing you've ever heard in your life? God, there's no consistency in officiating.
No, you know what this makes me believe? It makes me, when you see what happened in that Atlanta Bucs game, they were trying so hard to give that game to the Bucs. By the amount of the penalties that the Falcons were having, the fact that they won is an absolute miracle. And then we come into this game, and then you have the same thing happening to us. And who does it benefit? The Bucs every single time. And so that bugs me because it does. Like, am I a conspiracy theorist? No, but I think that it's hard not to look at the pattern there, and especially given the fact that nobody wants the Panthers in the playoffs. Let's be real about it. Like, we're not an exciting team. We're not a team that is going to, draw a lot of eyes, if you will. And so if I'm the NFL, if I have an opportunity to make sure that those the Panthers don't have to be a part of the actual the playoffs, then I'd take every opportunity I can to make sure they're not in it. And that's what it feels like. And it sounds silly, but that's what it feels like.
And then Alex Moore, who officiated the game, has thrown more flags out of any referee in the NFL this year. He leads the league in flags thrown. Is that not, dude?
Yeah. All right.
Can't make it up, man.
Just to clarify or dig in a little bit more to be as accurate as possible.
Yeah, man.
It looks like from what the source is saying, this per source, this it's what do you call it when you don't know their name? They're it's not a protected source. It's a whatever. We don't know the person who it is.
Anonymous source.
Anonymous. Thank you. Is that the reason that they don't think it should have been overturned is not because it really truly was a catch, but that because it was not clear and obvious that McMillan had failed to make the catch. Since it was ruled a catch, right, is that there needed to be more evidence to show because the ball didn't move at all. So if they had called it not a catch, you challenge it, then would have remained not a catch. They are pretty much saying. And then in this case, they're saying it should have remained a catch because there wasn't enough evidence to dispute the ruling on the field. And another thing is, I don't know how important it truly was.
Right.
He goes on to say, happened late in the fourth quarter. Connected the Saints challenged the rule on the field. The replay process the Panthers converted on the next play to continue the drive. So the decision took a first down off the board during an important juncture, but it's not like it interrupted the entire game. Or it was like, they still could have, they went and converted after. I don't know if they got a first down. I guess I'll have to look that up. But go ahead.
The part of this that I'm worried about is like, it's, if that is the case, right? They're willing to overturn. We challenged the Bryce Young first down that we didn't end up getting and then we did the fourth down and all that stuff, right?
Right.
But that third down run, like the angle that they used to make that decision was behind the line of scrimmage, and the most down the line they kept on putting back on. They before when I was watching the broadcast, they put the down the line picture on there, and they were all like, yeah, it's clear this day is that he's got to the line of scrimmage there, or to the line to gain. But then when you come back from the break, they're giving you an angle that's behind the line of scrimmage, justifying his position being behind the actual line to gain. That was an irritation to me. You add all of these things up. I mean, how else are you supposed to feel about the officiating in the NFL? Like, this is ridiculous.
Just to give you some more here, I'm actually, and this one thing we didn't do is I pulled up the actual chart of all the referees.
Hang on.
Alex Moore, who called this game, who was like a star in this game. All you could do is just I remember his face more than anybody's. 224 flags in 14 games. The next on the list is Sean Hockley with 211. Then it drops to 205. Really, though, then you start to see a big fall off after the top five. Once you get these refs that have been in these games that called 200 flags, then it's like 179, 170, 160s. Oh, I guess. Oh, okay. There's less games. Never mind, that makes sense. Thanks. But the Panthers, they had a lot of boneheaded mistakes.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Cam Jordan talking shit?
I saw someone posted on X. Man, Cam Jordan's just gonna go on his podcast and talk mad shit, cash shit.
We can never get back at him.
Yeah, and then he quote tweeted it on X. Cam Jordan with a bunch of laughing emojis. No, dude, but that's the only thing I've seen. I didn't see if he said anything. But dude, look, man, like and I wanted to bring this up. Hollywood Gaming says yard shaving. Like, boys, are we going to pretend like like a month or two ago, maybe not even that, the FBI concluded that, there was an illegal gambling ring going on in the NBA. And now you have, gambling so heavily associated with the NFL now. And, they are putting it in their ads and all this other stuff. Like, it's only a matter of time until you get a mega scandal coming up with gambling involving the NFL. Like, it is inevitable. I want you to remember me saying this. It may not happen this year or next, but there is going to be a controversy surrounding referees and point shaving in the NFL and things of that nature. And it's inevitable. It's absolutely going to happen, especially so long as these referees are not full-time referees. They literally do it during the season, then they go about their lives and have a normal fucking job. It's inevitable.
This was Cam Jordan's tweet was just out of nowhere too. I wonder if people are like hitting him up on, but it wasn't a reply to anybody. He said, finish watching film before I talk at a middle school. The play, the slovenly feller took a cheap shot at me like a confused rhino in heat after reviewing, walked him down, pushed him out of bounds while he was there, where he was inbounds. I think this is the only thing I'm like, I like Cam Jordan too. I like how he talks shit. He's a player that I would like to have on my team. I hate him because he's on other people's teams, and I've hated him because he's been a Saint. But like, what fucking Aquano did was not even really that big of a deal. I think they could have let it go in a sense. As he shoved him, I mean, like, it's not like it was a punch.
Right.
No.
I mean, I didn't think so. I thought it was like, man, why is he talking so hard against Aquano? All right.
Well, do you remember he got mad that Cam Jordan like pushed Bryce as he was going out of bounds?
Right. Yeah.
And then Kim Aquano ran up to him and was like pushing his
shoved
ass.
him. He pushed him.
him.
But it wasn't like I feel like, man, Cam Jordan's being sensitive here. Because like that shit happens all the time in fucking NFL. Like a guy shoves a guy, a little shove, a little hands, like in hockey. Like they do this a lot. They love to put the fucking gloves in people's face and just give them a good grind.
Yeah.
It's just like but it's not like it was like egregious to the point. So I mean, look, I'm not upset that the flag was called on Aquano. Like, I mean, I think it's a call that can be made. I don't think it had to have been made, but it should be made probably, or should. It's illegal. But like the fact that Cam Jordan's like fucking Aquano taking the cheap shot at me, come on, get the fuck on it. He's just like, you know what you do. This is the league, man.
He's protecting his quarterback. That's what everyone wants of their left tackle.
And then there's also been a lot of talk on the internet about the Latham Ransom hit. And a lot of people have been. I'm surprised. I haven't really had a lot of time. It was the end of the semester to get my final grades in and things. So I've been busy at work. After the post game, I stayed up all night grading, finishing stuff up, then worked yesterday. So I haven't been like and I've also been kind of, it's like not pissed, but like, I don't really want to even think about Sunday. But I have peaked. And when I peaked, it was like, I haven't scoured, but I've peeked at the internet. And I was a little surprised that so many people were defending Latham Ransom in this. And that they're calling it a late slide. A lot of people are trying to like say that overprotect.
It was.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
I mean, Shug even said it was, by the way. Like he sold it.
Did?
I mean, well, sort of. I mean, he said he sold the hit and everything, but like most people are looking at that. Like if you are in the NFL, you're watching that. Like in real time, it looked worse than it was. But in reality, that was not a bad hit. Like it was the way that Shug was doing it. He went diagonally down to where it was like he was trying to get away from him, but then because Ransom was already in his dive, I mean, there was nothing he could have done.
Hollywood Gaming 92. Hey, C3, he's a C3 super fan, by the way. Thank you for that. For $1.99, you can support the show. Many hands make for light work. Trying to keep this show running. It is actually more expensive than you think to just keep streaming all the time. But we thank you for your support. Your time, energy, and attention is the most important thing. Smash the thumbs up button, subscribe. And like Hollywood Gaming 92 is, you can be a C3 super fan for $1.99 a month. He said it was a late slide. The rule needs to change.
I also
feel like
agree with him too when he says the DB hit, Derek Brown hit, was more egregious because you could tell Derek Brown was trying to pull up. Like he wasn't like that one was a more egregious late hit call than the Lathan.
I agree
Rankin
with
one.
that. And I almost think, and I know that maybe it's hard in reality. I mean, like, is the rules and laws have to be fairly and equally applied. But I do think it's like a big difference. Like, I mean, Derek Brown's 315 pounds.
Sure.
And all of a sudden to just stop, you know what I mean? It's not like, how is the intent of something? I don't know if these are always need to be factored in or could be factored in. They need, I feel like this is the NFL and they're going to throw these flags and it sucks. It might suck. I don't know if you can, how you revisit it. And these quarterbacks, I tell you, you know what is that maybe we wouldn't be so upset about it if our fucking quarterback knew how to slide. I mean, he got a good first down in the one and he gave up his body and he needed to, and he took a big hit. But like every time, like Bryce Young, we've had two number one overall pick quarterbacks between Cam Newton and Bryce Young look like idiots trying to slide.
Yeah, they don't really protect themselves very well.
Yeah.
Well,
so those guys that dive forward are going to get lit up. So I don't know if it's about giving yourself up. I don't know how you would actually change the rule, but let's keep going through the show, Cody.
Well, I bring that up because that kind of is a good segue into the first topic that we're going to talk about tonight. We're talking about quarterbacks protecting themselves. Well, some people feel like Dave Canales is a little too overprotective on quarterback. And, you know, Tony, I said during the postgame show yesterday that the game was close. It could have gone either way up until the 4th and 1, because that was the moment that marked the ridiculous comedy of errors on offense and specifically on defense that really, really made things turn south. I want to play a clip of Dave Canales in his press conference the next day talking about why they didn't run a quarterback sneak on that 4th and 1. And then I'm pretty sure we'll have a spirited discussion about it.
Yeah. Why is that? And have you given any thought to doing like a Taysom Hill type thing with somebody else?
We're working on stuff. With Bryce, it's physics. You know, he goes about 190 pounds. And when you have a 220, 230-pound quarterback leaning on a center, that's an advantage. You know, when you're not putting a bunch of force that way, I don't see that as an advantage. The other part is I like to leverage off of some of the formations we use to throw shots down the field. You get into a 3rd and inches and you're in dive or belly type of plays. It allows you to try to throw a keeper, throw a play action. And we've had some success, you know, over the course of the last 2 seasons, finding explosives and short yardage at a higher rate than most teams who are going to sneak it. It's great to have a sneak. It's great when you can just, man, if it's half a yard or something like that, and you know you can execute it with your quarterback, it's great to have that in your back pocket. But, you know, that's not our style, and so we just try to maximize our approach.
So that's what he had to say.
I don't think that's – I think this is wild because as we on this show, in the wake of a game where – unanimously we decided that but like has had zero criticism for Bryce Young's performance in the wake of that game, he's catching strays from his damn
he's like, yo,
quarterback,
get your weight up, kid.
And I think that it does slightly lend some credence and I know people aren't going to like to hear this to your original point or your point throughout the season is a sort of a lack of trust from Dave Canales and Bryce Young. I mean, he said, look, the physics doesn't. He actually just didn't think you should call that play a sneak period because of the size of the quarterback.
Well, so a couple things. So Joe Person asked him, did you consider doing some Taysom Hill shit? You know, having someone else behind center to snap the ball and sneak it. And he said, yeah, we're still figuring stuff out. Like, buddy, what? It's week 14. What the fuck are you figuring out in week 14? It's the dumbest shit in the world. Then, let's go through this, right? We have multiple players that could have come in on the 4th and 1 for the sneak. Mitchell Evans used to be a quarterback once upon a time. He's also done it at Notre Dame when they were playing Louisville, and he did it for a touchdown. Then Andy Dalton has also done it in the past, come in on a quarterback sneak on the 4th and 1. But then, even more of a hypocrite, it was I think it was a year ago against the Green Bay Packers. We did a quarterback sneak on 4th and 1 with Bryce Young. So they've already done it before. So it's like, why all of a sudden now you don't trust quarterback sneaking with Bryce Young? And what? Because it's 5'10", 190 pounds. Like, you have done it before, and you had other options. It just makes no sense to me, man. But Tony, you are right. It does lend more fire to this accusation that maybe there isn't a lot of trust and cohesion between our head coach and our quarterback. It really doesn't feel like there is. And then stuff like this just adds fuel to that fire.
CK, the way he was talking about the physics of the matter, right? Like he's gonna pull out he's gonna pull out the old chalkboard, the whiteboard, and start drawing up some equations there. The way he talks about that almost suggests it was like similar to a tush push in a sense. But what we're talking about is, you saw, I don't know if height is necessarily what gives you the advantage in a QB sneak, but like Tom Brady was the most effective QB sneaker in the history of football, and he didn't weigh but like 210 pounds probably. I mean, like, or two, you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't he was tall. But I mean, what did you gather from that? What did you think of his response? Because in the chat, right away, as Canales taking some heat. And we go back to a game against the 49ers where Canales took a lot of heat from Carolina fans with the 49ers game. And right now you're in the wake of a game where really even the most critical people of Bryce Young and a la Cody we had zero criticism for Bryce Young after this game. What do you think of the tone and temperament of Dave Canales' comments there?
I'll be honest with you. I think that this loss is just as much on coaching as it is on the players. And throughout the entirety of his press conference, it felt like, or let me rephrase, I didn't listen to the press conference, but I listened to like the Panthers talk and all of that. It sounded as though he is blaming the players for this. Like at one point they were talking about how Chris Olave was able to continue to just catch balls at the end of the game when he hasn't been able to catch anything up to that point. And what Dave Canales says is, well, that comes down to execution. We didn't execute well and all of this. And so instead of saying like, hey, listen, we weren't prepared and having our guys in the right spot, which by the way, they didn't. That was one of the things they were talking about on the broadcast with Jake Delhomme and Luke and everybody, was that they just weren't ready. They were rushing. They were doing a hurry up offense, and we had no idea what we were doing. I'll tell you, this is what I wanted to say on the show if I was going to be on it on Sunday. This team was unprepared coming out of a bye week.
Yes.
And that is unbelievably evident. And nobody can look at this team and say anything other than that being true. Like, there is nothing else that can be more true than what that statement is. This team was unprepared coming out of the bye. They should have been rocking and rolling because they were healthy. They had time to watch the film, all of this stuff. We didn't see a special Saints team that just somehow figured it out, right? We saw a team that did exactly what they did against the Bucs. They did exactly what they've done all year, and they've done it more efficiently. I think the Saints are a better team than their record indicates. I think Shug may be their guy moving forward.
I agree.
And that dude is to me, he seems like he could be a franchise guy. So I think the more he's getting reps, I think it's going to be more trouble for Carolina as time goes on. But I don't think that this was because the Saints were just unbelievably better than the Panthers. And I think it just boils down to our coaches didn't have our players ready to play.
Well,
that's what I think it was.
I agree with you, CK. With the sentiment of a lot is that they're not night and day. I mean, they're not a better team.
Right.
I agree 100. I said it several times on the post game show and throughout. As I'm talking to people at work, is that Saints aren't as bad as their record shows. And since Shook has come in, they've improved. Their defense has been stronger than people. You know, their problem in the beginning of the season was their lack of offense completely.
Right.
But they did. I don't know how much coaching does factor into the fact that they won the trenches. And this goes to White Chocolate Espresso's comment. He says he's not even really upset with the call. Like, I mean, yeah, you could quibble. I mean, a sneak would have been a better call, in my opinion. RG3 said it on the broadcast. He said, don't do it. And then they handed it off. But, like, if you can't get a little bit up the middle when you're a run first team, he said that the Saints defensive line wanted it more. The Saints defensive line, they won the trenches on both sides of the ball. But we come back to this. I mean, to me, this was the first time, and I have not studied the press conferences, so I heard that clip, and I've just read some different things. But this is the headline on Cat Crave. I hope that, I mean, I'm guessing this. I think these headlines are all AI generated. Sorry. But Dave Canales the headline is Dave Canales just called out Panther players in most subtle way possible. But Dean Jones writes, this team, or he's not writes, but this was quote from one of these press conferences from Dave Canales. Dave Canales said, this team is trying to find an identity of professionalism, of maturity, to just have that consistent outcome weekly. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're shooting for. That is our best that is our best football. That's what we have to go find. That's the challenge that we all have as a staff, and certainly players as well. We're all in this thing together, and we have to find consistency, because that's what really good teams look like, because they show up week in and week out. They do their job in basic parts of their job to where the other opponents should have to make spectacular plays to win the game. He did not. I haven't heard anything about Dave Canales saying he should have been better. Really.
I agree.
So there's a couple things here. One, I'm sorry. You are the leader of the team. And Tony, we talked about this a little bit on the post-game show. You are the leader of the football team. You're the coach. If your team is unprepared going into a game off of 2 weeks of prepare time, and you're getting a ton of penalties, I'm sorry. I don't care who thinks it's fair or not. That's on the coach. I'm blaming the coach for that 1,000%. Even if the refs were, biased and fucked up on behalf of the Saints, I'm still blaming them. But this is why I disagree with you and Kevin when you're talking about that 4th and 1. And this is why it's such a big deal that he chose not to do a quarterback sneak. Because it's different if you say, yeah, but we're running the football. We're a run-first football team. We're confident in our ability to be able to pick up 1 yard. Well, yeah, that works if you're in the middle of the field and it's like 1st or 2nd down or whatever. But this is a play where they knew you only needed a little bit. So they were sucked up to the line. They were prepared for that. But if you're not going to run a quarterback sneak for Bryce Young, it goes to the point that RG3 was making during the podcast. Now you're going to turn around, hand the ball off, and you're going to essentially be starting 2 yards behind the 1st down line. So now the defense is sucked up to the line of scrimmage. You're putting yourself at a major disadvantage just in that 4th and 1 scenario by not having an opportunity to go for that quarterback sneak. That's why I get so upset that if you weren't going to do the quarterback sneak with either Andy Dalton or Mitchell Evans or Bryce Young himself, who you have done it with before, then why didn't you just take the points? If you would have taken the points right there, this is an entirely different football game. Fitzgerald has been a really, really good kicker for us this year. Like that one decision by Dave Canales could have swung the pendulum in our favor in a must-have game in the NFC South when we are fighting tooth and nail to take this division away from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I think and we'll go 2 different ways. We're talking 3 conversations are overlapping at once. The call, what the right call should have been, the level of accountability from Dave Canales and how he's, at least his comments are coming across to us And then third is the chemistry and confidence with Bryce Young when he talks about the physics and stuff like this. When it comes to Canales here, I think that I think you can hold the players accountable for not executing for different things, and also put yourself as the first line of fall on the sword. So I think this comment right here where he says that's what we're where he says that's the challenge we have to do as staff and certainly players as well. Is I think you come out, you say, look, it starts with me, and I've got to get these guys better prepared.
Right.
And then you call out the damn play calling. I mean, not the play calling, the execution, but you ultimately start there. And then we go to confidence, or this lingering weird question that's in the background somehow about, does Canales and Bryce have chemistry? Is the confidence and really the question I felt like was disappearing more and more each week. And then he brings up like the physics of the matter. You could have, like a bold ass play call is to roll out there and have Bryce run for the damn sidelines and or throw, you know what I mean? Like if you really want to put the dagger, you could, as everybody knows, it's going up the middle. Those are the times that it takes a lot of guts to make that call. It was inches, but those are at times he's made some of these calls right there that have been aggressive in these very conservative situations, and it worked out. But then there's this story too, that's on The Athletic. I should have clipped it and put it up here. This is Joe Person. He published it on the 12th. So, well, let's see. The 12th. What day is today? How is this on the 12th? Friday.
Today's the 16th.
Yeah. So he put this out. So this is before this game. The story is, what does film say about Bryce Young's up and down season? Is the story on The Athletic by Joe Person and Ted Ginion.
Ted Gwynn. Yeah, the end silent.
This is a quote that they cite here, though. It says, it's been a group thing. It starts up front when the protection is right there. And this is Dave Canales saying this. And the guys are where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there. He's on time and things work. I've seen that chemistry continue to grow throughout the semester, and we haven't had the consistency I would like to see from the entire group, and certainly Bryce is part of that. That's the challenge. We have to have a front of us. That's what we have been attacking for weeks now to find. We had some really critical downs against the Rams, and we were able to come through because they were all on the same page. But he comes on and talks about when the pocket gets muddy, that Bryce has trouble. So when you hear these, and I'm not trying to say I'm sitting here going, man, this is the most I've believed in Bryce all season.
Yeah.
Well, and then we start catching all these different lines that are do they really have that belief?
Dude, listen, like I said in the post-game show, to me, Bryce Young was not the reason why we lost this game. He wasn't even the top 5 reason. Not that he was perfect, but if we're judging the reasons why the Panthers didn't come away with the W, I think it was a lot of dumb decision making on the part of our coaching staff. We're going to get into some more of that as well. But, going back to that 4th and 1, by the way, I even agree with shout out to Sideshow in the chat. Dude, you can get real creative. Fucking put Derek Brown in the Wildcat.
Right.
Do something. Dude, there are so many more options that you can employ to get a 4th down than whatever we decided to do. Kev said that Chuba is getting paid how much he should be able to get a yard. But again, any running back is going to be at a disadvantage when all you need is a couple inches. But then in the midst of the handoff, you're starting 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. It's just so counterintuitive. And this is why I think Canales, being a young coach, really does hurt him sometimes.
Yeah.
That in these situational moments, he doesn't employ best common practices to put his team in the position to win football games. We said this earlier during the 49ers game when you had Rico Dowdle, who was running the ball pretty effectively, getting about 6.3 yards per carry, and yet we only ran him 4 or 5 times. It's bullshit, man. You have to be better. And then, we're getting ready to get into this defense. I think over the course of this next offseason, we're going to have some ground-shaking changes in our defensive personnel and in our defensive scheme. But to me, everything that happened in that fourth quarter was a product of poor decision-making on behalf of our coaches on both the offense and defense, and we ended up paying dearly for it.
It's strange. CK was highlighted that this team every other week is a different team, right?
Yeah.
It's wild too, CK. If we do NFL picks on Pirate Radio, where we do the whole NFL each week, just pick not against the spread, just straight up picks. And I'm in second out of 4, tied for second.
Okay,
but I have not gotten one single Panthers pick right all season. I've gotten out of my 80 losses or whatever, 123, 80 or something like that, or every single, there's 14 L's when it comes to the Panthers for me. Is every time I picked them to win, they've lost. Every time I've picked them to lose, they've won. And what has been inconsistently consistent for this Panthers comes back to something now that is circling back to a CK take about Ejiro Evero. And CK has been surprised that we weren't fired. He's not been happy and pleased with Evero as a defensive coach, even as the defense has trended better. And you've had to, I guess, soften your position, or maybe, but you were there. And now we're back to it. We're consistently back to the same conversation. Cody, now, Double E, Ejiro Evero, who some people thought at one point that this defense was starting to make such a turn that he could be fielding head coaching opportunities going forward.
Yeah.
Might not have a job. And look at this. Go ahead and tell us what's going on, because in the post-game show, CK, and look, nobody's going to argue with this, in that when what we're talking about, we see in the comments, is that Bryce Young isn't even on the list of things about why the Panthers lost this game, and nobody's disputing that. I just find it's funny. Not funny, but interesting that he hasn't gotten as much confidence, or to me, this says something about Canales. This is the worst moment I've seen from Canales this semester. I always talking teacher talk this season. And that I just didn't like the answer. Whether he's right or wrong, I don't know. It's just did you give it better? But on the list of things for this game was going from coaching to execution to penalties to play calling, this and that. Bryce nowhere on that list. No. Cody was very critical of this defense in the post-game show. And Cody, now the story has shifted, or at least in the wake of this game, is that really we got a lot to talk about with this defense.
Dude, so much.
Massive amount.
Yeah. Before you is a chart. Blitzing versus non-blitzing. How good our defense is. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but the Panthers are dwelling right there at the bottom with the Las Vegas Raiders. We are literally one of the worst teams in the NFL when it comes to getting pressure and getting sacks. But Tony, to the point,
just being good on the blitz, even if it doesn't work out, is general. When we blitz, we have terrible outcomes, and I don't even think we blitz a lot either.
No, we don't. I mean, I've called for them to blitz more, but now it's why blitz more if even when you do it, it doesn't even benefit you or work out at all. So listen.
But Cody, Evero was supposed to be a genius at disguising these things.
Oh yeah, dude. Well,
he's got multiples. We see multiples, and that makes it hard to be able to predict what our defensive line is going to be doing and all of this. We're going to even screw with your head and drop Derek Brown into coverage.
Yeah, exactly.
So stupid, dude. It's so stupid. We've had a number of different gripes about Ejiro Evero all year, not letting JC Horn travel. Then now you have this egregious move of letting Derek Brown drop into coverage. It's the dumbest fucking move. And then in the past, he will take his primary pass rusher on pass rushing downs to drop them into coverage. He did this with Brian Burns. You've had players want to leave the Panthers defense because of Ejiro Evero, namely Jeremy Chin and Frankie Louvu, who didn't want to be a part of this. But this is from Luke Cray of Cat Crave. Says Ejiro Evero is blowing his big audition with this blatantly poor strategy. Ejiro Evero's lack of defensive adjustments are costing the Panthers. Evero's scheme is set around a bend, don't break mentality based on a heavy, soft zone scheme that rarely plays any man coverage. This rests heavily on securing turnovers, especially in the red zone. When you look at the Packers and Rams game, 2 huge wins, they did precisely that to stun the NFL world. Against the Saints, however, the Panthers' failure to secure any turnovers highlighted the deficiencies in Evero's scheme, specifically in the fourth quarter. Constantly playing off coverage. Dude, this next paragraph right here, he fucking cooks. Shout out to Luke. Constantly playing off coverage, mainly in third and short situations, allowing easy completions for the opposition. The Saints converted, listen to this, 6 of 11 third downs, and many of those came on 3rd and 10 or more yards. The opportunity for your defense to get off the field. The coordinator is clearly hampered by just awful play at the linebacker position. Both Trevin Wallace and Roseboom have zero command of the middle of the field, and the Saints pass catchers regularly found themselves in acres of space there, but Evero's lack of adjustments remains ongoing frustration. And that part where he says acres of space, that's what I'm talking about. After the 4th and 1, where the Panthers failed to convert, they let the Saints offense march upfield. I believe it was something like 82 yards and 6
Well, they got the ball on the 35, right? And that 4th and 1 was on the 35, so you turn over there. But then twice in this game, they were pinned inside the 10. You know, at the beginning, that last drive, the two of their late drives, pinned them deep. And that last one, I think they were pinned at the 9 at one point. And that big screen pass with that acres of space that you're talking about for 19 yards, then all of a sudden, wildly put them in field goal position while they were on their own 30. Yeah, this guy's got this rifle with his leg, this Irish kid. But this team is, I think that's another part of this, is that your special teams are giving you a good field position too. It's not like you're in tough situations.
Right.
And somehow this defense wasn't executing, and against the team. And at what point do the players really, I don't know if it's a limitation with the talent stuff, but like, why is J.C. Corn getting cooked against the damn Saints every
Dude, Olave torches him. Olave has J.C. Horn's number. I've been a big defender of J.C. Horn a lot.
Yeah, you're his biggest fan.
Yeah, even when he was hurt, I've said that this dude just needs to see the field all season, and you're going to see what he's capable of. But I mean, I want to finish out this article because it is very well written. From a defensive standpoint, the end of the game was a disaster for Carolina, leading 17-10 with under 7 minutes to go in this patented soft zone. The Saints and Tyler Shuck walked up the field to score the 10 points they needed to win the game. There was no answer, and Kellen Moore had Evero's number. The last drive was infuriating to watch. All Panthers fans knew once Sam Martin punted the ball back to New Orleans, even with under a minute, and pinned deep in their own territory, what their fate would be. The defense held Shuck's hand and led him down the field. They even gifted them a free 15 yards, courtesy of Lathan Ransom, and one of the more brain-dead plays I've seen from a Panthers player in recent memory. For the Panthers under Evero, this is nothing new. The Panthers simply do not have a defensive coordinator whose schemes help the players at his disposal. With Evero's contract up at the end of the 2025 season, it's hard to see a scenario where the coach is retained. While he is clearly a good coordinator, as shown by his time with the Denver Broncos, he is not a fit for Carolina. Boys, I have been saying, many fans have been saying for a long time, that this 3-4 just does not fit us. It doesn't fit. I feel like so many years now, we've been trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, trying to make this defensive personnel fit what Ejiro Evero does, and it hasn't worked. And I want to point this out, too, that at the end of this year, everything that you know about this Panthers defense will change. I do not expect us to retain Ejiro Evero, and I do not expect the Carolina Panthers to remain in this 3-4 defense. I think we're likely going back to a 4-3, which might be a good thing for us. I think a lot of fans will be happy about that. But it basically shakes everything up because a lot of players in your defensive front seven are ostensibly not going to be playing the same positions next year. Nick Scorton and Princely Uman might be 4-3 defensive ends as opposed to standing 3-4 outside linebackers like they are now. There is a seismic shift coming in how the Panthers play defense next year.
CK, are you fired? Is Ejiro Evero, his contract runs up this year. He's on a 3-year contract. Does that mean he's fired, or do they just not renew it? Is there different in language there, or is it the same thing?
I haven't seen anything worthy of us extending him. Right? I mean, we've seen improvement. Don't get me wrong, and we've seen this defense show up in like some pretty key places with Derek Brown and some interceptions from JC and things like that. Right? We've seen them cover the best of the best, and when there's a failure like the one we've seen against some of the worst teams in the NFL from this defense, it's things that we've seen them do well before. So it leads me to the conclusion that it's a coaching issue, right? It's that whatever they're scheming isn't working. They're not reading the offense. They're not either studying. Like, I just feel like what we're missing is an actual quarterback of the defense, which is the linebacker play is certainly the question mark here. We might have Rose Boom and Trevin Wallace and all of these guys making big hits and everything, but like, they don't seem to be difference makers. They're not in the backfield constantly. Yeah. They're not making, these incredible plays.
Yeah, is that they're not like signature players in a sense? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we want Rose Boom to come back next year and you kind of.
Well, yeah, I mean, it depends on what you decide to do in the draft, right? I mean,
yeah, but even if you draft high, is to have somebody so you're not putting all the pressure on a rookie only. But you're right, it's not like these are signature players. But you go and you say this is that I like this comment from Kev and from KG73s is you're talking about a rookie quarterback and you're not able to frustrate like this disguise and for like this, like it looked easy for the guy.
Easy. Yeah, it was. I don't feel like he felt uncomfortable at any point during the entire game against us.
And that doesn't need to be only getting sacked uncomfortable, but just what's going on. Where
he was not afraid to throw at JC Horn.
No,
right?
No.
Like, think about that, right? He was not afraid to throw at our number one wide receiver. He could. Corner, I mean, he was. Yeah, I mean, our number one corner. Yeah, he was able to just dice him up. He had some like that touchdown pass to Olave, like JC Horn. When I was looking to listen to the Panthers broadcast on that, and they were saying like JC actually had his hands around the ball. He just didn't. He could have. That should have been an interception, but he didn't. Corral it. They said they saw a slow motion view of it from the stadium. So I mean, he made a good play on it, but like that throw was so good. Right? Like that was a fearless throw that he made there. And it was exactly where it needed to be. Like, I'm not even lying to you guys. As much as I hate to say this, like Shuck might be the dude for them. Like, I don't mean that like because we lost to them. Like, that dude is like improving every single week. And like, I hate to say it, but like that dude looks like a franchise quarterback in the making.
Or a lot to build on. Like, right. I mean, they don't feel like they got to go back and start over again.
Well, right. And listen, even in the draft, Tyler Shuck, he was tall, had a big arm, he was mobile, but the question around him was always, could he stay healthy?
Yeah, because he had a leg and an arm injury. Like, he had some injuries.
Yeah, he's had multiple injuries, dude. He was the backup for Justin Herbert at
Right.
Oregon. So that shows you how long the dude's been playing football. But no, dude, he has what you want in a franchise quarterback. And they got him on a discount in the second round. So it's like they're out of the quarterback market going into this year's draft. They're going to be looking at building other positions on either the defense or the offense. But it makes it even worse that he looks so good against the Panthers. Like the Panthers have been the team that's made him look like a superstar. And that's why we're blaming so much of this on what scheme Ejiro Evero plays and continues to force us to play.
It's maddening that this happens with a rookie quarterback twice, as two times that as we're trying to trend into a playoff team, is that it's not that he had success against you. It's that two times the Carolina Panthers have had the opportunity to step forward, and this guy and this team has been the problem. We're about to get to the calls, guys, but I do want to remind everybody, man, this is a good time. I mean, the Panthers still, despite all of our frustration and are talking about the defense, defense has created turnovers this season. They've been much, much improved. The Carolina Panthers have 7 wins, and we're heading into the final 3 games of the season. And the Carolina Panthers are still vying for the division title. So there are things to be happy about and excited about and to watch on Sunday as the Carolina Panthers host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I tell you what makes football fun is winning money while you're watching football. And you can do that by playing daily fantasy football sports with Underdog Fantasy. It's my favorite daily fantasy football site, and they are sponsoring today's show. Guys, it's the football season the playoffs are right in sight, and you can get in on the action and win some loot. The way you do it is you pick multiple players from different teams. If you want to focus on just the Carolina Panthers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you've got an opportunity to pick Tet McMillan, Chuba Hubbard, select higher or lower on several projections, as well as Bucky Irvin. And I got one more projection for you with, I think, Mike Evans. The quarterback projections are not out yet, but there'll be more opportunities for you to make plays. You can take $1 and turn it into $1,000. If you get all your picks right, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. That's insane. It's like hitting a penny stock. I'm telling you right now, Tedero McMillan, you want to get in here? There's some interesting projections right here. Higher or lower, CK, 60 yards, 59.5 for Tet McMillan. What are you thinking?
Higher. I mean, we
comeback game.
Yeah,
gotta have a comeback game, right?
Yep. I mean, plus we tend to be a really good team the week after a bad week.
Yeah. Chuba Hubbard, higher or lower, 32.5.
I think higher.
I think so too. Is that right now you're talking about a team that is ultimately in defensive disarray when it comes to the Buccaneers. They haven't been able to stop much. But Carolina Panthers still have to go out there and do it. I was trying to find Bucky. Hold on. I had it pulled up. Anyway, those are some good opportunities right there. You pick them. Then we go to Baker. Is this guy going to cook? I don't know. Right now, the Carolina Panthers, I don't know if we want to put a lot, though, on the Panthers defense because they are soft in coverage. But Bucky Irvin right now is, I think, at 64 yards. 64 yards. That's a tough number right there. Because you think the Carolina Panthers kind of soft against the run at times still. I'm sitting there going, maybe I just like to pick higher in these projections, but you can take $5. You can turn it in to $25 or more, $100, right? But what you really need to do is download the app today and use the promo code C3P. That's promo code C3P because it's very important you do that, because if you use the promo code C3P when you download the app as a first-time player, you can score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code C3P. Make picks with Underdog, win money. You must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia. Present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. Go to Underdog. Use the promo code C3P. Cody Lack. The defense,
Yes, sir.
the defense is got some questions, but you know who is? I don't got no questions about these calls that we're about to hit. Because I know these fans are going to bring it. It's that time in the show where we get the Panther, you guys, we get the listener, by fans, for fans, to guide our conversation. Chime in on the Carolina Panthers and their playoff hopes. What are your thoughts about the Saints game? Or if you're looking forward to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game and resetting, call in at 252-228-5098. Cody, let's take these cat calls.
Let's do it.
So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in his nose? Who's that kid that can use one?
Hey guys, it's Tyler from Spruce Pine, and not last week, but I guess the week before last, I had called and said that I thought Ejiro Evero might be making his case to potentially be a head coach in the future, and I just wanted you guys to know that I'm half retarded. Okay, I was really high on the win against the Rams when essentially the defense did not play well in that game. They did get turnovers, but the Rams, I think they only punted one time in that game. This game, I think the Saints may have punted once. It wasn't many times. It wasn't many. And this isn't the first game that's happened this year. I would say the time of possession might have been 2-1 in favor of New Orleans in this game. That's why I'm not putting a whole lot of blame on Dave Canales. And Bryce Young was exceptional when given the opportunity. Also, you know, like I said, I'm not blaming Dave Canales, but at the same time, I don't feel like Dave Canales really trusted the pass game that much in this game against New Orleans because they were playing the run, obviously. They were playing to stop the run. And Dave Canales was stubborn about running the football, but it didn't work.
Just like it didn't work the first time we played them.
I feel like it was okay in the first half. The second half, they shut it down. When I think in the second half, there were times when you should have asked Bryce Young to go beat Atlanta, Bryce Young, and potentially that could have loosened up the run defense, but we never did that. So it just wasn't complimentary football. I don't have a problem with going for it on that 4th and 1. If you can't convert a 4th and inches, you probably don't deserve to win the football game anyway. They didn't play like they deserved to win the game. They're going to have to find a pass rusher. And you know, at some point, Ejiro Evero has to manufacture some type of pressure. But this a borderline prevent defense at the end of the game lost this game for us. You know, having J.C. Horn play 12 yards off the ball made it kind of easy for Chris Olave to catch that touchdown pass. I think J.C. Horn is a really good press corner, and you don't utilize that at all. So this has been the same story with Evero since he came to Carolina.
Yeah,
it's been a very I mean, they don't get pressure. At the end of the day, they don't get pressure on the quarterback. And regardless if it's a rookie quarterback or not, in the NFL, if you don't get pressure on the quarterback, you're going to get picked apart.
Easy. Yeah, I think that was the end of his call. Dude, fantastic call, because that call highlighted so many of the deficiencies that lost us the game. We said that Bryce was good, and I do agree. But as we said earlier, CK and Tony, it feels like there is a disconnect between Bryce Young and Dave Canales. Like they don't trust each other, or like they're just not on the same page with one another. He also mentioned that
time of possession. He mentioned time of possession, by the way. Just here are the numbers for you. 31-44 for the Saints, 28-16. Slight win in possession time there.
Well, it feels like a lot more because that second quarter, they had the ball for over 11 minutes.
Yep.
And it was like a 18 play drive or something like that.
They did it twice. They did it to us in the second quarter and the fourth quarter, had these long drives, as well as we did it to them in the first quarter. I want to ask you guys this about that. Is that as a run grind team, we get a stop on the first series of the game, and then you come out and we come out and have a very long drive. I'll look it up but it chewed up a significant amount of clock, just like their drives would do later in the game. Let's see, first quarter, Carolina Panthers held the ball from 13 minutes and 57 seconds to 6 minutes, I think 46 seconds of the first quarter. So we did that. But one of the things that is tough is like these long drives are awesome when you score, but they're really like, are they good when your defense allows scores? Like the problem is like you got to come back and you got to have a stop and not let the team, the other team get a touchdown, and then you go on a long drive and score again. Because one of the things is we don't get a lot of possessions this way and a lot of opportunities to come back.
It's annoying, man. He also brought up the pressures, and I found this on Twitter, and I wanted to bring it up because it's relevant. All right, let me bring this down, put this up. So, dude, Myles Garrett almost has as many sacks as the Carolina Panthers. We are tied for third. Well, technically, we're tied for second to last with the Jets, but my bad. The Ravens and the Jets are 22nd. The Panthers are 23rd. San Fran only has 16 sacks, but
he's
Carolina,
about to break. Myles Garrett's about to break the single season sack record.
Yes,
the single season sack record is 22.5, shared by T.J. Watt and Michael Strahan, and he's got 3 games left.
And he's on a dog shit team like the fucking.
Well, that means you're going to get a lot of opportunities on defense.
Yeah, no doubt. But this team, we mentioned it before that we're going to have a seismic shift this offseason, depending on how we go about changing our defensive scheme, whoever we hire, which is probably not going to be Evero, that we're going to have to get a pass rusher. Tony, we're normally never in the conversation for the big time players like a Trey Hendrickson. But, dude, seeing how bad this has been, I wouldn't doubt it if Dan Morgan does try to make a move to really upgrade the Panthers as a pass rushing defense. That's how bad it's been for us. And I think a lot of the things that you saw in that Saints game that led them to just march upfield, the lack of pressure, the lack of press man coverage when you need it the most, that really hurt us. And that put us in the position to lose that game on that drive after the 4th and 1, after the failed 4th and 1.
CK's been talking about this all season long. And the inability to, it's just like our defensive ends aren't doing anything. And you invested a lot in this draft, but you can't, the defensive end position, CK, is one of those that regardless of how high you are up, I mean, unless you're just one of those elite players that is like a Myles Garrett or Julius Peppers or even like, I guess, Chase Young in a sense had as a great season coming out, is these types of defensive ends that come in and make a giant impact right away they're top 5 picks. You don't get that in a mid-round, first-round pick. You don't get it's a position that I feel, because offensive linemen are so smart and savvy, an offensive lineman can play into their late 30s because it's not just about speed. It's like it's a mental chess game. I've always said that defensive end is one of the tougher positions. It takes more time to develop. So I don't know if you can walk into next season saying, well, Skort and Princely Umanyilan, these are the guys that we're going to just count on. I mean, these guys are, they've shown some moments here, but I think you got to make those picks, CK, and aggressively go after and spend some big money on a free agent like that to address the needs that you have said have been glaring the whole season.
Yeah, I mean, I think the number one priority still for me is to find a new coordinator. I think that's priority number one. And I don't mean that facetiously. I sincerely mean that. Like, here's the thing is, even when Brian Burns was here, we couldn't generate pressure under Evero, right? Like, if you believe that the defensive coordinator has nothing to do with whether or not we're getting sacks, I mean, I would have to tell you that there's a lot of evidence that points to the contrary to that. Like, there's some people that get sacks that shouldn't be getting sacks, and they get regular sacks on an occurrence that is maybe surprising. So I think that I think scheme is a big part of these guys being available to get to the quarterback. I also don't know that it's just like, for whatever reason, as we talked about, the blitzes don't get home when they're actually called. And like we talked about, they're not called very often. So the fact that even when they are called, it should be a pretty big surprise to the offense, and we still can't find a way to make it happen. I don't think it's just talent. I think there's got to be something to do with the scheme. And this is me as a football fan, not a football expert, as Tony likes to say, right?
Yeah.
You guys may have a different opinion on that, but that's my approach. I think priority number one is changing the coordinator. And if that does, in fact, result in us going after a big name free agent to help this pass rush, I'm supportive of that. But I do think that giving up on these guys that we have that are young on the team, which I know is not what you're saying here, but I think that would be a mistake. I think we need to give them as much time as possible to get acclimated to the systems and to the NFL and the speed of it all. And I sometimes I think bringing in another guy that is a superstar could hinder their development.
Cody, I think we cracked something right here on the C3 Panthers podcast between the call and your comment and CK's comment. And that is that the Carolina Panthers not only need a schematic or change with the defensive coordinator, they need a talent infusion and a schematic change. And the way you could do that without making it a slow bleed, like it's been, like, you know how we switched to a 3-4, then you're like, well, we got to get 3-4 personnel.
Yeah.
And we got to draft this, and it takes time to get the players in here. Well, how better could you accelerate a shift to a 4-3 defense by bringing a new coordinator, injecting a top tier free agent talent, and then allowing those players in the defense and then drafting in a way? I think that would accelerate a shift to a 4-3 in this offseason in a way that it wouldn't be so painful. You get back to Panther football. The question somebody brought up earlier in the comments, though, is, David Tepper, that made it sound like I was talking to the commenter like this. I don't mean that, but David Tepper and his ties to the Pittsburgh Steelers and their 3-4. Well, you know what? The Pittsburgh Steelers and their defense has been dog shit. So how long are you going to have to hold on to that David Tepper tie? You know, so I think we cracked that code. I want to bring something up to make you feel better, Cody.
Do it.
You've been on the podcast since what, 2019, 2018?
The year we drafted DJ Moore was my first year.
Oh, what was that?
2018.
2018. This is your first winning season, right? Oh, well, we're not even there yet.
Yeah, well, don't speak too soon.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
but it's potentially.
Oh, God, I might have just fucked it up.
It's potentially my first winning season with the pod. Yeah.
Yeah, you brought up Brian Burns' name, 13 sacks this season with New York Giants, but the Giants have 2 wins. Brian Burns is not seeing a winning season either. That guy, he's thirsty like you are for a winning season.
Yeah, he's hurting bad.
All right, let's go back to the calls. Numbers 252-228-5098.
Yo, what's going on, C3? It's Anthony from Charlotte.
What's up, Ant?
Tuesday, man. When you get this call, I'm calling in on Monday, December 15th. Just wanted to, give some thoughts. Yesterday I was very upset. I think a lot of us were upset. I think there's just a part of this fan base that really understood. Let me rephrase. yesterday's game felt more so like the fans were more invested in the stakes of that game than the players. It was very disappointing, just the outcome that we saw after a bye week, you know, and especially what the Saints did to us the first time we played them. It's very frustrating, you know. I just want to start from the top. I'll start on defense. Ejiro Evero, listen, man, he's a nice guy. He's had success in the past. I'm reading this tweet about all the EPA efficiency numbers on the defense and pass rush win rate and all this stuff. And we've been bottom 3 in every category for the past 3 seasons. And at some point, to me, I get it. There's been roster holes. The defense still has major holes. Edge is a major need. Linebacker is a major need. You know, those 2 things are like the most important parts of your defense. I get it. But for him to come out here and we're running the same stuff and it's not working, you know, it's very frustrating. And I think, you know, he got kept around last year. I still didn't agree with the decision, you know, but this year we got to just let him walk and find someone that can, you know, bring in a 4-3 guy. As for the offense, man, it really feels like Canales goes balls to the wall in these games we're not expected to win. But versus these teams where we're playing bad teams, we're playing not to lose. And we're playing not to win. And we play down to our competition. And, I mean, this is a major red flag when I went to New York for the Jets game. I mean, we only beat them 13-6. They're an awful football team. And that game yesterday felt a lot like it, you know, conservative. I get the 4th down calls, but overall, it's just there's too much inconsistency right now for me to crown him as the future of this team or anything like that. I also don't know where the pass game has gone, like why T-Mac is only getting 4 targets a game. I know he's had his ups and downs, but there's just a lot of confusing question marks. And it really sucks that this team just can't get over the hump when the division's being given to us. In that
look, he's got a part 2.
Yep.
What's up, C3? I got cut off. I just wanted to say this. You know, I think the frustration I just have is every time this team, and I think Tony spoke to it a bit, but like every time we've been given hope, you know, it really feels like Tampa Bay is trying to give us the division here. And we just can't capitalize on it, man. You know, we're still alive. We'll see what happens. And I get people are blaming the refs yesterday. Listen, if that's what they want to do, like say, oh, most of the money, all the money was bet on the Panthers, like, sure. But there are still unexcusable things from our own team. Like that game was that game was winnable. And the last thing I'll say is like, I'm just tired of making excuses for, we need to be patient. This is a rebuild. I'm so sick of seeing these coaches hired in the same cycle as Dave Canales or a year after, turning around teams after 1 year. I don't care what the talent they have or anything like that, okay? We've seen that we can be a playoff team. We can play like a playoff team, but we just can't take care of business when we're the favorites, when we're the big bad guys in the matchup. We can't take care of business. Yeah. So with that said, we'll probably win this week, and everyone will be back on the train because we'll be the underdogs again. And it's just like, listen, in the beginning of the year, I didn't think this team was going to the playoffs, but I certainly thought that this division, with how this division's ass every season, there's always a chance, right? So that's my frustration, is like they've strung us along, and that's what happened yesterday. I'm going to stop there. I've taken too much of y'all's time. Love y'all, boys. Thanks for listening to me. Give me your. Thanks,
Anthony, for that call. Yeah, man, when are we going to get that turn? You know, when do you get that turn? And it's going to be a question that we get to talk a lot about this off season, because at the same time, we're having the most success too we've had in so long. So I don't want to get lost in that too much. You know, you don't want to get bird in the hand is better than 2 in the bush type thing. So we don't want to get lost in the idea entirely. At least I don't want to get lost in that idea that this is like failure, because it really is a success. I mean, if you think about where you're at right now, if you told us if we're in week 1 talking about this is where we're going to be, we're happy. I mean, these are good, positive, strong steps. But man, it's like we really got the taste of it, and we want more, man. We got that first hit, and we want to go back. We're chasing the dragon right now, and that dragon is in the playoffs, and we got to beat the Bucs. Let's go to the next goal.
Well, I wanted to say one thing though. It's like Anthony's saying, we're probably going to win the next game. And CK mentioned it earlier, if we're in every other team, every other game type of team, then that would mean that you beat Tampa, lose to the Seahawks, beat Tampa to close out the season. But, I mean, let's be real. Like, at this point, none of them are surprising. If the Panthers lose out and don't win any more games, and we miss the playoffs completely, there's a whole bunch of us that are not surprised just because the ways in which we have lost this season. But then again, the adverse of that is also true. We have seen this team beat the Rams, beat the Packers, beat the Cowboys. We have beaten teams that are really good this year. So if we do make it, it's also not a surprise on that front. This is what I meant during the postgame show, Tony, when I'm like, dude, we're going into week 15, and we still don't know who this Panthers team is. It's insane. But literally every possible outcome is still open to us, be it good and bad.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's keep going.
Hey, this is Sean. I called back way back when we played the Bills, and I voiced my frustration in multiple calls.
What's up, Sean?
And to be honest, yeah, I had like this weird feeling, especially after the first time we lost against the Saints. I think once we gave up that like 11 minute drive, like when they start on the 5-yard line, it's just like,
agreed.
I don't know. I had like this gut feeling that we were just going to choke, and eventually we did. But because I know you guys have already kind of talked about all the, things that went wrong in the game and things we need to work upon, I want to give y'all some delusional hope. All right. So the consistency that we've won a game and lost a game, won a game, lost a game for like basically since like I'm pretty sure like since the Jets game. But if you want to look at the bright side of things, we should be able to win the division if this continues, because we won against the Rams 2 weeks ago, then we had our bye, then we lost to the Saints. So realistically speaking, if this trend continues, we should win against the Bucs this week, lose against Seattle next week, and then finish the season with a sweep for the Bucs and then win their division. So this is the delusional side of me because of how consistently inconsistent we've been in terms of wins and losses and just winning and losing every other week. So realistically speaking, we should be able to win the division and sweep the Bucs. But yeah, like I was also like really, really upset after the Saints game. But yeah, I just wanted to give y'all a little bit of, delusional hope for all the fans out there, just because of how devastating this loss was, especially how like the last Saints game that we played was also like the same kind of circumstance of like, oh, we could really take, a step above the Bucs in the division, and we had the same opportunity again against them this week, and we just squandered that opportunity again. So yeah, I just wanted to, kind of poke at the obvious, the more like, hopeful and like, positive side of things. So hopefully some people can take out of it if they're, trying to be more delusional and hopeful like me. But yeah, no, I appreciate y'all so much. You guys are one of the best podcasts out there for Panthers fans. And, I appreciate y'all every single day. I'd like to tune in Tuesdays, Fridays, any single day I can. And yeah, keep pounding.
Thank you, man. We appreciate your support, man. A great call. And you're right. It's like, at this point, let's just stay consistent with that every other week. And guess what? I'm going to pick the Panthers to lose on purpose. Well, I don't know. I can't do it on purpose. If I do it on purpose, then I might be screwing the jinx up. I don't know what I'm going to do, CK, on Friday. But whatever I pick I'm going to make is going to be wrong.
I mean, it seems that way based on what you've done up to this point.
I mean,
you better not jinx us.
I have never been this bad on a singular team. And then the fact that it's on the Panthers, like, how embarrassing or frustrating that is. The number's 252-228-5098. Let's go to the next call.
Man, you know what I realized today? I think we're in an abusive relationship.
Oh yeah,
ladies and gentlemen. I think
Tony's
we have
been
an issue
saying that
here
for a
because
year.
Every week we get let down, but the week after we think they changed.
Yeah.
It's a roller coaster. It's chaotic.
Shut up, Christian.
We care too much sometimes. But here's what I really want to know, because I said it on Sunday's call. But I have this feeling that there are people who get upset for whatever reason at me raising this question. I definitely see it online. I'm not going to criticize any particular player. I'm just going to ask the question. And I think fans should really think about it or consider it. Why? Hold on. Let me pause. I don't want you guys interrupting me. Tony, you're known for that. No offense. But I'm going to start now. Why is it so hard for us to pass the ball? And my follow-up little mini questions, so that nobody thinks I'm attacking anyone, because I've even heard people who've criticized said player now all of a sudden get tired of wanting to criticize. This again, not against one player or person or staff or office. Why? I just don't. Is it the scheme? Is it the receivers? Is it the quarterback? Is it the blocking? There's a freaking problem. When you look at the average, when you look at how difficult it is, I'm not going to say what my assessments are because I've already said them. I just think there's an obvious problem that we can't even semi-remotely consistently pass the ball down the field to get first downs. And I don't know what anyone else thinks. This is not normal, especially for an offensive-minded coach. I think we need to find out what the problem is if we're ever going to have hope to be able to score points in the future. Again, blame the defense all you want. They suck at times. But come on, guys. Let's not turn a blind eye to a stale, sometimes just boring offense.
Yeah. It's my show, but he's right. I still get to do this.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. LMAO.
So
oh my god. LOL.
Lots of
Oh my
lettuce.
god.
You're so funny.
Oh my god.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, it is a problem, especially the more I drink. And I've said this before, is y'all get up and it's not, and I'm in this totally right. I overtalk people all the time. It really
that's the only
is
part of the call. That's
the only thing
you're on self-critique.
No, it's true, but it is, if we did this, like my dream, and I don't see it happening unless CK bought my old house, then we went one step closer to that, is just being in the same room. It's really a lot harder. And I'm just making excuses at this point, but the virtual part does make it a little different. But passing game.
Yeah.
I mean, he's at what point do we get locked into this conversation of we're afraid to lay critique? Because there is an element to this, is that if you say anything, you just hate Bryce Young.
Oh my!
Just hate Bryce Young, but
welcome to my world, brother.
I know the team just doesn't. It's not prolific. How about that? The prolific, the pass, but he was great. He was 15 for 24, did a no turnovers, this and that. Tell us what we're looking at, Cody.
Well, I mean, look. So this is a quarterback efficiency chart with completion percentage above expected versus EPA per play, passes, rushes, and penalties. And you see Bryce is right up there with Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa. and Patrick Mahomes.
Weeks 8
who
through
is-
15, right?
Yeah, who is out for the season, weeks 8 through 15. And look, man, I've been very tough on Bryce. I feel like for everything that we traded to go up and get him, I wanted to see a quarterback who is far more dynamic than he is.
Yeah.
Specifically when we've seen incredible rookie seasons from CJ Stroud, you saw it from Jaden Daniels, and now look at Drake May up in New England, looking like one of the very best quarterbacks in the NFL this year. And even if you look, and I can pull it up here, even if you look at Bryce Young's numbers from this past Sunday's game, he was by far not the worst part of the offense, but the numbers didn't jump out at you. And he's had a number of performances this year where the numbers just didn't and don't jump out at you, and yet will come away with a W. So it's like Bryce Young will do enough as a quarterback to get you a victory. But if you look around the NFL and you see the badass quarterbacks that make these incredible throws and will just take over a game, much like what Josh Allen does, like you're not being unfair to say that you should probably never expect that from Bryce Young, to have these games where he will just come out there and thoroughly dominate. And by the way, this comes from me being more critical of our offensive weapons in recent weeks than I have been earlier in the year. I felt like T-Mac had some drops that really hurt us in this game.
Yeah.
Even though you can say that Bryce sort of put that ball a little too far behind him, still I think that T-Mac should have made that throw in the end zone on what would have been a touchdown. I know the NFL came back and said that the referees should have called that a catch on the throw to the sideline. However, T-Mac shouldn't have made it even be a question about if that was a drop or not. So we live in this gray area with Bryce Young, where for a large part he has failed to meet the expectations of many fans, and then in the eyes of some fans, he can do no wrong. And as long as it gives you a chance to at least be competitive in games, then you're going to have that contingency of the fan base that just won't say anything bad about it.
All right, let's go to the next goal.
What's up, y'all? It's Lucas from Forest City. I'm so ready for these next two games. All season long, I've been seeing that picture of Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold from 2022 in Panthers uniforms, and I'm sick of seeing that shit. I'm ready to see Derek Brown mess these losers up. Keep pounding, and Merry Christmas.
Keep pounding, brother. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Yeah,
absolutely.
We do. It's the ghost of quarterbacks past. We got to play Baker and Darnold. And think about this. Sam Darnold, known for, I won't say known, but yeah, he's not had a great career, right?
Up to this point, right.
Yeah, this last two seasons, starting really turn it around. Yeah, Phillip Rivers, old man Rivers, coming off the couch, marching this team down, putting them ahead by 1, I think. And then Sam Darnold makes 2 damn passes, and they kick a last second field goal. Sam Darnold has yet to collapse just yet. His biggest collapse, I think, was against the Rams, where he had a bad, a lot of turnovers. Maybe it was Rams and 49ers, tough games. I can't remember if it was the 49ers. But now, we got a Baker. We got to go. Are we going to be Baker Bombs or Baker Tops? And then we got to go Sammy Dimes or Sammy Turnover. Look at this. Yeah.
Kevin sent me this photo.
Yeah.
Ghost of quarterbacks past.
But we got him. We're going to see Baker twice. We'll see Sam Darnold. And it's not retribution. Do you guys, I don't think, if you survey Panther fans, do they have a negative things to say about either of these guys? I don't dislike either of these players. I don't think they were good for the Panthers. I don't have any love for them, but I don't think I just hate these motherfuckers.
I don't know. I can't speak for other fans. I just know I was a bigger fan of Sam than I was Baker.
And you should be.
And I felt like that last stretch of Sam's career here in Carolina, he looked pretty good. Steve Wilkes had Sam really playing well. He was throwing deep balls. We were running the ball well. I wouldn't have been upset with another season of Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I hear you. And, you were consistent on that. Let's go to White Chocolate Espresso.
Yo, it's White Chocolate Espresso. What's
Okay.
happening, y'all? Man, I don't know. Like, this team's so up and down. Like, I think we're going to win Tampa, lose Seattle, and win Tampa because we win, lose, win, lose, win, lose.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people complaining about the fourth down call. I'm not really mad at the fourth down call. Like, with like a quarterback sneak, but at the same time, it's 4th and inches. It's old school football. Who's better? Who's tougher? Who wants it more? Offensive line or defensive line? Defensive line wanted it more in that situation. I think it would have helped to do like a QB sneak. Hear Dave saying, "Oh, our quarterback's too small." Put someone else in. And the fact that what's his name? Mitchell. He did in college. Like, what the fuck? Like, why don't you run it with him? You have tape on him doing that. Like, but I still think he calls it right. It's not egregious. It's not bad. You know what is bad and egregious? Having Derek Brown in coverage. That's basically
So
hard
stupid.
to tackle. It's fucking coverage. He's damn near almost 300 pounds. What the fuck? Like, come on, bro. I'm sick of this bend, don't fucking break. It's bend, don't win. Like, our pass rush is non-existent. I'm gonna keep saying it. I don't know if we cut Clowney. We have no pass rush. We have nothing. And it's just like, all right, let the quarterback sit there and pick us apart, and hopefully they fuck up. That's basically our defensive plan. Hopefully they fuck up. I don't know. I just hope he's gone. I was looking at the looking at the free agent list next year, and like impressive. Like there's a couple names, but we all know they're going to resign. Type deals, We have to build through the draft. I'm hoping we can beat the quarterbacks of Christmas past in these next couple of games. But, other than that, woo! Keep pounding.
Keep pounding.
All right, let's keep rocking.
I fucking told you all he caught the fucking ball. I'm just bringing out the receipts, man. That was part of my crash out on Sunday.
Yep.
One fucking hand had possession. Period. End of story.
All right. Let's keep going.
What's up, boys? Tater out here in Idaho. Greetings from beautiful Idaho. Man, I got to tell you.
Did he say Tater in Idaho or Cater?
To
Tater.
be in the running and have a loss like that, but we were all saying this year 7, 8, 9 wins was going to be a good year as long as we saw progression from Bryce.
Oh, that's my fault. I damn crashed out. I tatered out of the app.
What's up, boys? Tater out here in Idaho. Greetings from beautiful Idaho. Man, I got to tell you, it sucks to be in the running and have a loss like that, but we were all saying this year 7, 8, 9 wins was going to be a good year as long as we saw progression from Bryce. And that's what I'm frustrated about is I don't think this coaching staff, I don't think Canales and Bryce work. I'm fucking sick and tired of hearing about Bryce having 11 comeback from behind wins because you know what? He has 23 fourth quarter losses in 1-score games where we're within 1 score. So to me, it's like, fuck that. That's like your friend that tells you how he won $1,000 at the casino. He didn't tell you they lost 20,000 over the last 6 months. He tells you about the 1,000 he won. And, you know what? It's great, man. The 11 wins, the comeback wins, those are great. But you put his whole career with the Carolina Panthers in front of you, and I don't know. It's not all on him, but he is not the guy that's going to get you over the hump. He is a good quarterback. Whelming. Just like you say, Tony, he's whelming. And Canales, he is a whelming coach. He is going to make sure that you don't lose more than 12 games once he gets his shit underneath him. I don't know, man. I thought next year was going to be our year. I am cautiously pessimistic after this year.
Ouch.
Thinking,
Yep.
I don't know, man. Morgan's going to be cooking. He's going to get us hopefully a linebacker, hopefully a DB, hopefully an edge rusher. And what does that leave us with the offense? The same shit we got. Keep pounding, boys.
People do listen to me.
I love C3. Best part about being a Panthers fan.
We're not.
Appreciate you, brother.
Panthers are not overwhelming. They're not underwhelming. They're whelming.
Look, this is how I feel. You know, I feel like there is a limit to how excited and how far I think the Panthers are going to be able to go with Bryce as their quarterback. Like, you know, hopefully he's good enough to win a Super Bowl someday. But again, I don't love the ability, and I've seen too much that just leaves wanting. I'm hoping that he's on what I would call the Tua Tagovailoa trajectory, right? Because they're very similar
That
quarterbacks.
sounds
And
awful.
well, I know, but I think that's the most reasonable comparison that you can make. And Tua had his best year that ultimately got him paid in his fourth year. Next year will be Bryce Young's fourth year. It'll be one more offseason where Dan Morgan, who I really like what Dan has been able to do with this team, is building it in the right direction. We're going to see what he's able to do with one more offseason. And, you know, if there's any more weapons that we can get for Bryce. But I don't know. I don't love the talent level that Bryce Young has shown me, even in some of the winning performances.
Maybe he's on a Trevor Lawrence trajectory of getting paid and then smoking it, man. The Jags are cooking right now.
Did you see
one of my
6
best
touchdowns?
I know one of
Trevor Lawrence.
One of my best friends is a diehard Jags fan. He hates Trevor Lawrence. Hated Trevor Lawrence. And then I went and hung out with him. He was like, Trevor Lawrence is the truth.
Yeah.
He was like, my favorite quarterback. Oh, man, the way the winds blow. Next call.
Gentlemen, hypothetical situation. Let's say David Tepper is secretly a fan of the C3 podcast. And he says, Tony Dunn, Cody Lashley, I want to hire you to put together a defensive game plan because we got to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers twice. And our defensive coordinator is bullshit. So therefore, tell me, what does consultant coach Tony Dunn put in? What do you take away from the offense? What do you stop? What do you focus on? What difference do you do in the defense? Coach Lashney, what do you do? How do you stop the Buccaneers to give the offense a chance to win?
Oh, God. Go ahead, Cody.
Bro, I think that you take either Trevon Moore or Isaiah Simmons and you blitz them from the nickel position on some of those early downs. I think that you need to get Baker Mayfield out of the pocket. You need to make him move. And I think that's when you're going to see Baker make the most decisions. Like, look, Baker's been on this team before. He will throw some boneheaded interceptions. And I think that if our defense is going to be optimistic or opportunistic, rather, you have to rush him. And we showed that chart earlier about how unsuccessful we've been even while blitzing. Even though you have that, I do still think that we need to be more aggressive in how much we blitz. And especially if you don't love our linebacker play, you really do need to get some pressure on the quarterback, even if you have to generate some using the blitz. So that's what it is to me. You have to rush Baker Mayfield.
My answer is going to going back to that Joe Person win article where they were talking about how the pocket gets muddied, how problems come up for Bryce Young. They wrote this. They wrote, still Young's physical limitations continue to show up on film. He seems to be trying to play inside the pocket more, but even when his passes aren't being batted, they're being affected when defenders get their hands up. He has to get the ball over defenders, often to create space by throwing off his back foot. Naturally, he has very little ability to overcome muddy pockets, particularly when the middle of the pocket gets pushed. Defenses seem to try to cage him in where their ends and just have their ends and just have their defensive tackles push and get their hands up. Last year in the second half of the season when pressured, he ranked 6th in EPA per dropback. This season, he's fallen back to earth, ranking 24th in EPA per dropback when pressured. I bring this article up because Baker may have not had these same problems in Tampa as much, but they've been struggling. They've lost 5 of their last 7 or something like that.
Yeah, they're on a downward spiral right now. They don't inspire much confidence.
He's got a little injury. He's hurt. He's got some weapons though. I think you have to be stout. Back. Yeah, I think you got to be stout against the run. But I think you approach this a little bit going back to his problems in Carolina with batted balls.
You've got to get pressure up the middle.
Yeah,
you have to get pressure up the middle.
Keep your eyes up on him. If you're defensive on the defensive front, get your hands up. Play tall. Make it hard for him to throw over. I guess that's my best advice. I'm not an expert fan, not a football expert, but that would be my strategy is like try to make him the Baker of Carolina, not the Baker of Tampa Bay. Let's go to the next call.
C3, what up, Panther Nation? This is Preston from Hickory.
What up, Preston?
I didn't think I was going to call in, but I was calling in a little late. I was listening to the show a little earlier. You know, I heard you guys saying, which 100% correct. Like Cody saying, not Cody, CK saying that, you know, we were completely unprepared as a football team coming out of the bye. Yes, you were. All of this shit, all of these little mistakes that are happening, all these little things that are occurring that are just little things that lead to these losses that we should not have, especially against teams that we're supposed to beat. I mean, it's plain and simple, man. This is a very young football team, including our head coach. This is second season. I mean, really, to be honest with you, I'll take this feeling right now of, man, we were supposed to beat that team over, man, we are just ass. Like, I'll take bipolar over ass.
I like this.
Because, I mean, yes, we are very bipolar right now. It's driving me crazy. It makes me pull my freaking hair out. But you know what? I mean, it's been a while since we've had this feeling, man, since we, you know, hey, we have a chance. We got a shot. The past, I don't know how many years we haven't even had a shot. This is a very, very young football team. I mean, when you think about it, yeah, Bryce, this is his 3rd season. Nobody is a seasoned enough vet for this team, offensively or defensively, to be a well-oiled machine. Like, you know, I get everybody's anticipation. I know that, hell, we've been waiting for so long and we're so fucking impatient by now. Yes, I know. I get it. I'm getting very impatient myself. But we got to keep in mind, that it's a very young football team, top to bottom. From coaching, I mean, Evero is a bit more seasoned, but really, it's a very young football team. We're not supposed to be Panthers.
Great call. I mean, you got to try to bring some perspective back in. But every season's a new season, right? I mean, you want to be able to reset and be bad this year and be competitive next year. Well, on one hand, is this a new season? We got a little bit better faster than we thought we were going to get.
Yep.
In a way. And now we want a little bit more. But I'm with them. I think it's a good point. 2 more calls and We'll get back into the show.
Preston from Hickory again. I don't know what happened. I guess my call ran a little long, but yeah, man, like I said, this is a very young football team. We're not supposed to be in this position right now to even have a shot. So I'm grateful for that. But of course, we're going to be emotional fans. Of course, it's going to drive us crazy. This bipolar shit, this up and down. Bryce is the man one week, and then he can't even pitch the ball right. I will say this too, since we were discussing it. I mean, I'm not against protecting Bryce. Yes, he is 190 pounds. He's not a big dude. He's very slight. Right. This ain't Cam Newton we're willing out there to go run a QB sneak. Cam is automatic. We know what we're getting with Cam. Bryce, I mean, we might need him to bulk up a little bit more before we're doing that. I think we need to protect Short King. Protect Short King at all costs. All right? But that's all I got, boys. Hey.
Short King?
We're gonna make it, man.
Had the Short King.
We're going to make it. You just gotta believe. We're a playoff team. Keep pounding.
It's like these old French kings, like there was Charles the Lame, Charles the Ball, and Short King. Somebody said you should just have a backup that could run the tush push. So you just keep Cam Newton on your team.
I was getting ready to I literally was thinking that.
That was for you, real AP. We can't go a whole show without saying his name. Last call of the night.
What's going on, everybody? It's me, C-Dog 1983 TV. Whenever you come in here, can you please hit the like button? Can you please subscribe to the great content? C3 Podcast is the longest running Panthers podcast on YouTube.
Dog. Appreciate you, bro.
I'm going to try to make this short and sweet. This past Sunday, very disappointing. Very fucking disappointing because we already lost to the Saints at home. We had a whole fucking bye week. Came out here and lose to the Saints again. This is fucking embarrassing. The division was ours. All we had to do was beat the Saints Sunday and beat the Tampa Bay one game, and we win the fucking division. But this is frustrating, man. Watching this fucking team, man. It's very, very fucking frustrating. Evero, pack your shit. Get the fuck up out of goddamn Charlotte. I don't know what the fuck you got them be calling on goddamn defense sometimes. Then at the end of the goddamn game, Chris Olave ain't do shit all fucking game. But on the last goddamn drive, they get 85 fucking yards on one fucking drive in a game when they got them touchdown. You know what I'm saying? We always got them clamoring to be playing fucking French man. But you play fucking man, and they got their own goal line. Stacey Horn ain't got no fucking safety help. Dumbass shit, man. I'm tired of this dumbass shit, man. Fucking Canales. Canales can fucking go. Canales, Bryce Young, Evero, all pack your shit and fucking go at this fucking point, man. Because we done lost too many fucking games this season to fucking teams we should have fucking beat. Then how we fucking playing down to the fucking competition? Every time we play down to the fucking competition, hey, Canales, you gotta fucking go, man. Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck are we doing, man? Jalen Coker, Bryce Young threw him goddamn over for a touchdown. No more the rest of the fucking game. Like, what the fuck are we doing? God damn, man.
I said the same thing.
I'm not spending no more money. I'm not buying no more tickets to the games until we get a different fucking quarterback. Yeah. All this Bryce Young here, they ain't got to worry about C-Dog going to a fucking game. I'm done. I work too fucking hard for my fucking money, man. I have not been to a game where we had won since we had Bryce Young. So that's 3 years I've been basically just throwing money away. Even my mama and my sister ask me sometimes, why are you going to the game? Like, why? We are fucking sorry. Like, anyways, man. Fuck it. I'm over it.
But I've been doing
podcast is the longest running Panthers podcast on YouTube. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to this great fucking content. They are the longest running Panthers podcast on YouTube. Everybody have a great fucking week. Merry Christmas and
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, brother. We love you, man. Dude, I've had some conversations with family and friends who've asked me the same shit. Like, bro, are you just a glutton for punishment? Like, why do you keep going to the games? Why do you keep giving them your Sundays? Why? And it goes back to that abusive relationship thing, man. We can't.
We all got a little masochist in us.
Yeah,
somewhere,
we can't quit him no matter how much we should. But no, shout out to C Dog, man. I love his crash outs. He can crash out with the best of them. Tony, I just saw that one YouTube short you put up on the channel of C Dog crashing out. I don't even know when you put it up. Dude, that was fucking awesome. That one needs to be a short just then.
That one right there. All right.
Yeah.
There's another way of looking at it, though, Cody.
Yeah.
And that is, you could say, why you put yourself through this. You could say, find yourself someone who loves you like we love the Carolina Panthers. Find yourself someone loyal to you who stick with you through hard times, tough times, like we do, like you guys listening do, right? I mean, there's a good thing. Right? There's some good stuff to that. It's like, hey, we might be someone you want in the trenches with you. So, I'm also saying don't spend your fucking money though. Necessarily, that doesn't mean that. So you could be in the trenches on your couch.
But hey, I will say this though: get Jalen Coker the ball. Get him the ball. Like, look, I know there's talk about T-Mac being the offensive rookie of the year, and maybe he might be. But dude, I said it during the postgame show. I'm more confident when Jalen Coker gets the football than I am anyone else on this team. I just, I think that he has the best hands on this team. He was hurt to start the season, man, and he's going to be a free agent next year because he was on a limited deal contract because he was a undrafted free agent. I want to bring him back. I'm hoping we find out a way to do so. Shout out to Jamal Coker, his dad, who's been on the pod. We need to get him on here again. Yeah, I'm a fan of Coker, and I want to see more of him.
C-Dog gets it. He said, he's in the chat. He said, definitely need a woman to love me like I love the Carolina Panthers.
Who doesn't?
That's right. All right, Cody, those are the calls. Let's finish this sucker out.
No. So I wanted to bring this up because earlier this year, when we played the Packers, Kim Aquanu had Micah Parsons in hell. And he was looking like a beast. And we were all pretty much saying, hey, sign Kim Aquanu to a brand new deal because you're going to have to. But then you have this one play from the New Orleans Saints game. And I'm going to play this. It's all 22, so we shouldn't get demonetized. Let me bring this up. On a gotta have it moment of the game, Chase Young does this to a Kim Aquanu. This may have been a third down. Just bull rushes him right to Bryce Young. Just fucking terrible, man. I'll play it one more time. But
it just looks like he wasn't prepared for that speed.
Yeah, well, and power too. He goes one hand, CK right here. You see that? Like he thought he was gonna be able to fight him off more. Bad play.
So he graded out from PFF to be a 29.4 in pass blocking.
Don't care.
Does
two
this
shits
have you
about it.
thinking any different?
No, not at all.
Signing Kim Aquanu, make him the highest paid left tackle in the NFL.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Because that's what we're talking about.
I don't know what sign of Kim Aquanu means, but I tell you this: is Aquanu's played well this year. He's taken a giant step forward, and I am wise enough and I've done this show long enough to know that PFF, their grades are so dependent on a singular play. Like, so that play threw him down. Like, I mean, he might not have had a good game, but like they took that play and took his average and gave him a 0 for that play. And then we're giving him 60s on the other play. No wonder. I mean, come on. Like, we take this as Aquanu has been better than average this year, if not good. I don't know if it's great. I haven't even thought about him a lot. This is the first time I've thought about him all season, really. And that's a good thing. So I'm not going to go nuts over this. I think you look at what CK said, is looks unprepared, power. He wasn't prepared. You're talking, or not prepared for the power that was coming, the speed that was coming right there. You're also talking about a former number 2 overall pick in Chase Young, who is not a schlub. He's a big freaking man. And Aquano, also, you think, part of his grade too, don't you think that 29 grade also comes from him getting a personal personal foul?
I don't think that they base the grades off of like those moments. I think
they gotta have false starts, things like that.
I don't think PFF would include that in their ranking or their rating. I could be wrong.
False starts you wouldn't get a shitty grade.
I mean, you might. I don't know exactly how that would impact things. I would imagine that their ranking is based off of how they play the game, not the like the penalties and stuff like that. But I could be wrong.
Well, I would think that has to factor in. Your thoughts, Cody? I mean, I don't. To me, this is you look at the overall season, not a singular play in a game.
Yeah, I mean, this has been his best year by far. I mean, truly, it's been his best year by far, and I believe he's an asset. Like at this point, I feel you just have to accept it. Like you're going to have to make Ikem Ekwonu the highest paid left tackle. Because look, like I know we don't, that is what we're talking about. If you're going to retain Icky, you're going to have to make him the highest paid left tackle in the NFL, or else you're going to let him walk.
Right.
And do I think that he's on the level of a Rashawn Slater who got hurt, or even like Trent Richardson, a prime Trent Richardson, which is who he was compared to coming out in the draft? No, I don't think he's that. And I still do think that he does have some deficiencies against speed rushers.
He's still young. He didn't get blown by. He got blown up in that play. Right. I mean, he's still young. He's getting better. I don't have any problem bringing Icky back right now. I don't think there's a better option.
And you keep in mind, he's going into his 5th year after this, right? So we have technically he becomes an unrestricted free agent after this next year, but you have the option to do a franchise tag on him as well. Let's say we don't do a long-term deal and we sign him, or we just let him play out his 5th year, and then that goes well. We do the franchise tag if for whatever reason he's asking for something that's out of the question or something. Like, I mean, there's things we can do to mitigate that. I don't think right now signing Icky is like such a main priority, just because we do have 2 more years at least that we could guarantee that he's going to be here. But we'll see.
All right, what's next?
Yeah, so now we're going to start to move towards this matchup with Tampa Bay. This is from Joe Person. He talks about what the Panthers have in front of us with Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. He goes, standing between the Panthers and their path to the playoffs are 2 former quarterbacks, because they're facing Mayfield twice before and after Week 17 game against Seattle, and Sam Darnold will focus on the Bucs' feisty quarterback. The Panthers don't have much to worry about hitting Mayfield while he's sliding. Not because Mayfield won't take off from the pocket, but as Christian Roseboom said, he's not going to slide. Mayfield, who spent part of the 2002 season in Carolina, is undefeated in 5 games against the Panthers. I didn't realize that until reading this, Tony. He's 4-0 since joining the Bucs, completing 65.1% of his passes for 933 yards with 7 touchdowns and 3 interceptions.
He holds a grudge.
Carolina. Oh, for sure. And I do think he's even pissed off at Canales and Idzik for leaving Tampa to go to Carolina.
I think he just gets fuel on being mad at people.
Yeah, I think so too.
Steve Wilkes, by the way, Steve Wilkes got fired.
Yeah, I saw that. And fans are going to already talk about bringing him back next season.
Yeah. He's mad. He's mad. He's big mad about the Panthers. You know what? That's not good. Thank God. He looked like damn Donald Trump orange right here. Orange on orange in this picture.
And do you like the creamsicle jerseys for the Buccaneers?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're cool. I like their old logo, like their old helmet logo, the one with the tent with the pirate that had the knife in his mouth. Thought
Yeah.
that was cool. But he don't look good in these creamsicle ones. I'll tell you
No,
that. I don't care
sure
what you
don't.
think. But he's looked good against the Carolina Panthers. He does have that chip on his shoulder, and that's not good for us. But fortunately, he's nicked up, banged up, and playing the worst he's played since he left the Carolina Panthers. So what do we got to deal with, Cody, this week? When the Tampa Bay Buccaneers come to
Tony, but we've talked about, who the offensive rookie of the year is going to be. And we've mentioned two names pretty much this entire year, Tony.
Yeah.
It's been T-Mac and Emeka Egbuka. And right now they have damn near identical stats going into this matchup. 59 receptions versus 58 for Egbuka. Tet has 851 yards. Egbuka has 870 and 6 touchdowns for both of them.
I gotta start T-Mac in my fantasy football league because and I'm going into the playoffs. I think I'm 10-3 on the season or whatever, 11-3, something like that. I'm number 1 seed in one of my fantasy leagues. Devontae Adams, though, out. I don't think he's going to be playing. Hamstring injury. They're probably protecting him. I got to get T-Mac involved here. But when we're talking about T-Mac vying for that offensive rookie of the year position, he had an opportunity last week. That touchdown, that drop, and this overturned play. I'm hoping for a bounce back game here for T-Mac.
We all are. And this is from the same article by Joe Person. He's mentioning some of the things that the Panthers can do to get back on track and win this division. He says that's to get T-Mac more involved with the lot. While Olave took Sunday's game over for the Saints, it was a quiet day for Panthers wideout Teteroa McMillan, who finished with the season low 25 receiving yards on 2 catches with a dip in production over the last 3 games. It's fair to wonder whether McMillan is dealing with a physical ailment or hitting a rookie wall. The number 8 pick from Arizona is still the betting favorite to win Offensive Rookie of the Year after averaging 4.9 receptions over the first 11 games. He had 5 total catches against San Fran, the Los Angeles Rams, and New Orleans. At least McMillan has made the most of his limited looks, pulling down a 29-yard touchdown versus the 49ers and the game-winning 43-yard score against the Rams. He and Young have hooked up for another touchdown against the Saints, or nearly hooked up for another touchdown against the Saints. But, and I find this interesting the way Joe Person worded this, but Young's pass was slightly behind a well-covered McMillan, who could not hang on. McMillan ranked second amongst rooks with 59 catches behind Tyler Warren's 63, 851 receiving yards, trailing Egbuka's 870. So, look, he's our number 1 wide receiver. And as he put here, can you make the argument that he's hitting something of a rookie ceiling? Or can these next 3 games be used to help him finally smash that Panthers receiving yard record set by Kelvin Benjamin?
I think that he absolutely. I don't think it's a rookie wall or ceiling or anything along those lines. I think it's just a product of the offenses we put out there to make his performances look less than what they should be. This is one game. Like keep in mind, like the Rams game was a week and a half ago, and that was that big. He had a big time play. Play that was the game winner, like you talked about in this article. I don't think that there's any panic mode that we need to be worried about with Tet or T-Mac or what have you. But he, I think he still offers a tremendous upside. I don't think we've seen the best of what he can do. The biggest concerns are his drops. And the reason I say that, yes, that pass was behind him. And yes, that's, Bryce has got to throw a better ball there. It was a catchable ball. And the problem is elite wide receivers in this league come down with that.
Yeah, good defensive play too.
Right. You see Puka Nacua come down with that. You see Mike Evans come down with those. You see Olave come down with those. Like these guys come down with these balls, when there's a contested catch. And that's what was so frustrating about this week was anytime the ball was thrown, I was listening to the radio broadcast because it was about 30 seconds ahead of my my TV, and it was just every time, all right, drop back, and it was caught. Drop back, and it was caught. Drop back, and it was caught. It just felt like every single time that there was a drop back, the ball was caught by these guys. Even when they said great coverage there, they just contested catch. Yeah. He threw that into triple coverage, and they came down with it. Right? I just heard that over and over again. Tet does not have the excuse to be able to say that was behind him. He needs, if he wants to be considered an elite wide receiver in this league, that's a ball he comes down with.
A little context though is I'm with CK. I don't think this is a rookie wall. I think are the Panthers hitting a wall? Are they hitting a ceiling? Are they going to crash through the ceiling? If they can break that glass ceiling, then man, T-Mac can as well. But Abuka's got 30 more yards on the season. Baker Mayfield's throwing 3,000 yards, and Bryce Young's throwing 2,500. So that 30-yard difference, that I think says something about how well T-Mac has played within that pace of 2,500 yards. You put him on a quarterback, a little more prolific passing team, or his numbers better. What's next, Cody?
Yes, sir. So Dave Canales put out a call to arms for all Panthers fans to show up and be loud and proud for this Sunday's matchup against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He said this on a Panthers Talk podcast, and I will play that for you now.
Be loud. Love the energy that we had at the Rams game. It was cold and rainy. We're expecting some beautiful weather. It's going to be in the 60s. We're going to come out and bring our best, and just a great division matchup, exactly how we want it. The environment's going to be beautiful, and we need you. We need all the fans to come out. We need that impact. I know it was an impact on that third down against the Rams. We got a sack fumble right there to seal the game, and there was an advantage there because of the noise, and we got to jump on the rush and a nice stunt inside, and all that stuff matters. And even when we just make great plays, the celebrations, and when the officials make a questionable call, let them have it.
Let them have it.
Because I'm typically not yelling at the guy, so I need all the Panthers fans to
let them have it.
I haven't seen very many of them.
Happy, smiley Dave Canales looking ripped as fuck, though.
Let them.
Yeah.
Go get them, fans. Ripped as shit. Ain't missed a workout this season.
This is what I'll say. The Panthers need to show up.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. The fans definitely need to show up and be loud, but more importantly, the Panthers need to show up.
Amen.
We are expecting them to show up like they are fighting for their lives, trying to win this division. It's time to do it. It's time to go out there and show up, shut them up, and continue this downward spiral for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In our hands.
And in my opinion, to change the narrative and to continue the momentum that we have, it can't just be a one score type of a thing. In my opinion, this team needs to come out and win by multiple scores for us to be able to say, okay, maybe we made the mistake. Now, am I going to be happy with the win? Absolutely. But we need to make a statement. And that statement has to be, we can win and we can blow people out, right? Because right now, that's the question mark, is when we go up against teams that people consider better than us, we beat them by 3 points, 1 point, right? It's not anything significant. And I think we need to change that narrative, because it takes every play to win those games. Like, we need to have a game where it's just like going into the fourth quarter, we're like, dude, we're celebrating already. That's what I want to see.
What's next, Cody? Let's finish this sucker out.
Yeah, man, it is time to know your foe. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on deck for the first time this season. And let's get to know your foe, courtesy of Panthers.com. Is Baker still cooking? In the first half of the season, Baker Mayfield was regularly getting MVP chance during and after games, and deservedly so. During the Bucs' first 7 games, in which they went 5-2, Mayfield averaged 252.43 yards per game, threw 13 touchdowns to only 2 interceptions, and took 14 sacks. However, in the last 7 games, Tampa has gone 2-5, and while Mayfield averaged 176 yards per game with 9 touchdowns to 5 interceptions and 15 sacks, one of those games does include the Rams matchup, which Mayfield had to leave early due to an AC sprain. The injury occurred to his non-throwing shoulder, and he was able to return the following week. Mayfield was missing many of his offensive weapons for the most of the season, with the full contingent not appearing on the field until the Week 15 loss to the Falcons. But now the Bucs have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Jalen McMillan, and Emeka Egbuka healthy and playing. Of course they do. During Week 14, Evans, in his first action since breaking his collarbone in Week 7, led the Bucs with 6 receptions for 132 yards. Boys, Mike Evans, every time he plays the Carolina Panthers, looks like a fucking machine.
Well, he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, the guy's a
Vintage
Hall of Famer.
Megatron.
He's a Hall of Famer. He's with 1,000 yards every season.
Except for this season.
What's that?
This will be his first season where he doesn't get it.
He's not going to get it this year.
Just because of injury.
Well, he plays us twice.
I mean, he'd have to get like 300 yards out of each of those games, I think.
I'm kidding.
Well, he does play us twice.
That's what I was saying. He plays us twice. The good news is, going back to the call where we talked about like defensive strategies here, is that Baker Mayfield has had to put a lot of those wins early on, took these incredible comebacks, these incredible performances. And what this tells us is that while they have these offensive weapons in the passing game, they've had some problems in the last 7 weeks. And I think that their offensive line is not playing to the way. I mean, their defense isn't. Secondary's got some problems, but their offensive line, I think, has not been able to provide for them. And I think you can see that here when you talk about the problems with the run game for them. The Bucs running back unit has dealt with injuries this season. Bucky Irvin, a rookie sensation last year, who really punished the Panthers, sidelined due to foot and shoulder injuries. His absence has allowed the emergence of Sean Tucker. In Week 15, all 3 backs are on the field, so they're getting a little bit healthier there. Bucky Irvin's back, with Irvin leading the group, finishing with 16 carries, 60 yards. By the way, that underdog number was 64, right? You can see why. Rashad White only had 1 catch for 20 yards. Tucker punched in a lone rushing touchdown on the night. White's played in all 14 games thus far, and the Bucs leading rusher with 94 yards on 118 carries. The Bucs rushing game, rushing attack is not what it's been in the past or was last year. The Carolina Panthers defense has gotten a lot better against the run. I think it's time to really put the pressure on Baker. And I mean and sometimes that can burn you. But like, you don't need to be getting burnt on the ground and allowing Baker to throw downfield in play action and stuff like that. And Cody, the last part, tell us about their defense.
Changes at starter, but still a stout. Yeah, changes at starter, but still the stout defense. The Bucs had to place one of their defensive starters on injured reserve this week. Zion McCollum, the corner, suffered a hip injury against the Falcons in Week 15 that would sideline him for at least the rest of the regular season, since he must miss 4 games. McCollum had 65 tackles, 6 passes defended, and an interception. There's still a lot of sticky talent on the defense, though. Safety Tyree Smith leads the team with 12 passes defended, plus an interception. Is also second on the team with 90 total tackles. Corner Jamal Dean leads the team with 3 interceptions. And as always, Vita Vea is still a force in the middle with 4.5 sacks, which is second on the team behind Yaya Diaby, who has 6. Look, we need a big offensive performance from this Panthers team. And CK, the Atlanta Falcons put up, 31 points on them in total. Kyle Pitts had a breakout game. Bijan Robinson looked good. We are going to need the best performances from T-Mac this year, and I think from Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard.
Listen, this has to be, you're absolutely right. This is where I was talking about it. This has to be a statement game. These guys are limping into this game. Granted, we have some issues that we have clearly seen, every other week for the past, 7 or 8 weeks. But this has to be the moment where we look our best, because if we want to have a shot at the postseason at all, we have to win this game. Losing this game, it makes our path to the playoffs basically zero. So this has to be a win. You have to come in, and this is at home. This is your opportunity to defend the bank, be able to make it an actual competitive advantage, as Dave Canales is asking for. But we need this offense to be incredible, and that's every level.
When are we going to get it? We need it. All right, Cody, the Panthers, even though this is a tough spot for them, they're home. They're not favorites, but this is it's still close. 3-point dogs at home against the Buccaneers. You can't really say that. Is that they're dogs at home? That's where we'd rather be. They are plus 30,000 for Super Bowl odds, plus 10,000 for conference odds, plus 275 for division odds. And why wouldn't you just do playoff odds?
I know that's a bad spread. You would do the playoff odds.
Yeah, just
absolutely.
bet that, and then you just get the better of the division right there. Yeah. You guys, who you're picking?
I'm not gonna do the reverse jinx thing.
No,
I think Tony might have that covered. I don't know what Tony will do, but Tony, I've been saying this. Like, we have to win games that we're expected to win. And listen, maybe a lot of people aren't expecting us to win this game. But what I'm saying is if I'm believing that the Panthers are a playoff team, and I do think they can squeak in, then I expect them to win this game. I'm taking the Panthers W at home in BOA.
CK.
So if I didn't consistently see this defense fail, not from the cornerbacks to the defensive line, not getting any pressure, I think you're going to give, in my opinion, I think we're going to be giving Baker Mayfield way too much time to throw the ball. The success that other teams have come from pressure up the middle and, in getting outside pressure as well. And we just don't do that on a consistent enough basis for me to think we're going to be able to impact that side of things. This is a very good defense. Granted, it's had its downfalls over the past few weeks. I want the Panthers to prove me wrong on this so bad, but I'm going with Tampa Bay here.
I'm going to go. This is every other week Panthers. Give me the Panthers to win. Pick them on my heart.
Carolina.
Yeah, I do think we can win this. I'm just ready for us to win the game. Like, come on, turn the corner. But we didn't last week. Time bounce back, motivated. Every other week, Panthers. That's the C3 Panthers podcast. We got one final segment to hit, and that is our ice up segment where we tell someone to ice up, toughen up, get it together. Cody, let's ice some fools up.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
It's our homage to Steve Smith where we tell someone to ice up, toughen up, give it together. Maybe we should just give it to Rev LaVisha Williams. Reverend what? Think about just think about what that is, folks.
Dude, this dude is praying for me in the Twitter comments. I'll read it to y'all after the show. He's fucking unhinged.
Okay.
But thank you for your prayers, man. I'll never deny some good prayers coming my way.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first?
Maybe Jesus can make the lame walk.
He needs to hurry up, man.
All right. I'm ready for some ice up picks. I got 2 right now, maybe 3. I want to shout out my first ice up pick goes to this Predators Warlord movie. Now, as somebody who the very first when my father, adopted father, and he's the best man. Is such an important man to me. He's such a great, noble, honest man. But the thing about this is, getting a son. He's 5 years old, 4 years old, 5. Like, what we've bonded over the last 40 years of my life has been action movies. And he's like learning how to be a dad. He's like, I watched like when I was 5 years old with him, Predator. Like, like right out the gate, we're watching Commando, we're watching, Terminator, Predator, the original Predator, one of the greatest movies ever. And there's been a series of great Predator movies throughout time, but what a noble franchise. Whatever this C shit that came out, made by it was so tragically bad and awful.
You saw it in theaters?
No. I just I got ways of seeing shit. I don't know if it's still, but it actually did really well.
Dog.
It did well at the box office, like internationally. And I'm like really upset because I'm like, man, you guys just like ruined the whole thrust and momentum of a great thing. It's like this dude like in a Power Ranger costume dressed as a predator. It was awful. It looked like he had arthritis and was skinny and tall, and it was just bad. The acting was bad, the writing was terrible. And here, you don't need great writing and acting in a Predator movie. You just fucking get this cool ass alien that can camouflage itself and blow people up and just rip people's spines out, and none of that. It's just awful. It's just awful. They didn't even do the special effects on this were like if we made it on my computer. It was terrible. It's terrible. So my sub pick goes to that. I do want to shout out a couple of good movies that I've seen in the last couple of days. I saw the new See Me Now You See Me Now You Don't, or incredible. It was great. It was really good.
Is that with Woody Harrelson?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And the guy that played Zuckerberg and
whatever that. I can't remember his name.
The Facebook whatever.
Rosenberg.
Yeah. And another really cool. Speaking about throwback action movies, the new Running Man, really really good too. So, wow, they really let me down on this terrible. And I was like, I've been waiting for it to hit this, the app we got, CK. I've been waiting for this Predator thing. My dad saw it. Like, I took my nephew to go see it at the theater. I was like, my dad just likes any movie. I was like, was it good? He's like, yeah, it was good. I was like, this was terrible, Dad. Still don't want to tell him how bad it was. My second ice up pick goes to kids. I love my kids. I'm bullied by my kids. And I'm bullied in this Christmas fever to buy them the stupid shit that they want. This exact water bottle that they need or whatever. It's got to be this color and this Oahu bottle. That's like 30. But so I wanted to get my daughter this. And I was like, oh, and she's like, no, I want this color. And I was like, it's sold out. She's like, oh, it's on sale right now. And I said, and I was like, I was like trying to get it sold out. She's like, no, it's not. Here's another website you can get it on. Well, in a fury to be a dad that buys shit for their kid that don't. She sent me to a dupe ass website that ripped my credit card, that ripped my card off, and they emptied my bank account out over the weekend.
Damn, is that what happened? I know you told me your card got.
It happened 2 weeks ago when I tried to, and it was like, man, I'm like trying to press this. Process can't go through, and I did it again. I was like, just a dummy.
Damn, dude.
It's not working. And she said, oh, I think I sent you to a bad website. And I was like, I told you that website. I told you. I said, because I went to the original website and I was like, it's sold out. She's like, no, here. 2 weeks later, completely emptied me out. Good news, though. Fuck internet terrorists. You can only steal so much from a broke motherfucker. And they didn't get much, but now I'm in waiting to get that bit back, but it'll be all right. It'll be all right. It's the good news about being broke is they can't steal from you. They can clean you out, but it ain't that much. Ice up to these people that are stealing. And why are we not stealing? I'm sorry, you shouldn't do that. But like how are these people getting away with all this crap? And where is
Dude, it's a fucking Pakistani firm that just has people constantly pulling
AI
your card.
warriors now.
Yeah. When they're not scamming grandmas out of their
to create fake websites and it had the whole shop thing. It looked like anyway. So ice up to my kids for
They'll get you.
being so demanding that the color of the water bottle that's $35 is more important than our financial livelihood. Ice up.
Yep. Ice up.
CK, you got one?
I've got two. I'm going to start out with a more serious one and then go to one a little more lighthearted. Maybe more something about being lightheaded more so than anything. So you guys know people like this that anytime you tell a story, it has to be somehow about them. And they'll turn it on themselves and like, oh, well, this is, such and such, or that's such a bad thing that happened because actually this is my situation or what have you. And none of us like that person, right? Nobody is enjoying that type of a person. Nobody's going to be asking that person to come over for dinner. Let's just put it that way. And over the weekend, there was a pretty tragic thing, regardless of your political beliefs, but there was a director, Reiner,
Rob Reiner.
Rob Reiner that got murdered by his son, allegedly.
And his wife.
And his wife.
Yep.
And our president, which again, a lot of people like the fact that he doesn't have normal decorum, but his response to this was disturbingly gross to me. It turned into how it started out as like we lost this guy and all this stuff, and then it turned into, but he lived his life's last few moments in Trump derangement syndrome, somehow creating this entire story about him. And can I tell you, as somebody who has a strong faith, right? Like the lack of grace that man shows is sickening. Like sincerely, it is sickening. And even if Rob Reiner had his opinions about Trump, whether they're right or wrong, like we have to be the better person. We have to have more decorum. Right now, we have to not continue down this. Like literally, that's the epitome of kicking a man while he's down, right? We have to be better. And if you are, somebody put it on Facebook, Donald Trump is our employee, not our leader, right? Like we have to treat this as such. And right now, we want somebody who's leading the country, and he's not doing that. He is just being Donald Trump, and that's a problem to me. Like that is an issue when you have a president who acts like this. It's just unfathomable. It needs to change. And so that's number one. That's the more serious one. The more lighthearted one is I'm just going to ice myself up. I fainted while I was taking a piss yesterday and hit my head, as you guys may see. And so legitimately probably need to ice myself up here.
Ice up, Rob Reiner, interestingly, Rob Reiner's Spinal Tap 2, the end continues, just came out recently and just hit our app, CK. Think about it. Oh, yeah. How about this? Just be it's just a jerk. It's just, come on. Anyway, Cody, what do you got?
Mine, I'll be real quick with mine. So, two of them, people are really mad at the company Pistachios because they put out this advertisement using the Grinch.
Oh, and this is awesome.
Yeah, I love it, dude. Green and salty, just like my nuts. And apparently there's a bunch of people that are like pissed off at this. And ice up, dude.
Yeah,
have a little fun. Dude, there's so much, just like what CK just said, there's so much serious shit in the world. Like, dude, have a joke and a smile and fucking feel the Christmas spirit.
I think, though, in defense
enjoy
of
his green salty.
I think this is a great ad, but I think it goes in a men's magazine or not Target. So I mean, I think their point is I think it's clever. I think it's a good ad, but it's like where you put that ad. I don't think we just need to say you can't have ads like that, but it's like in Target. I don't know if that's the best place for that marketing campaign. Great in Maxim magazine though. If people get magazines
It
anymore.
graced my timeline, and I love it. And now I'm craving pistachios and green salt in them.
You like nuts.
Yeah, everyone knows that. So, dude, I found this on Twitter. A Saints fan, no, pardon me, an Eagles fan. He went on Facebook after the Eagles lost, and he says, "Probably gonna kill myself."
And they called the wellness check.
Yeah, they had a cop
this is awesome.
literally show up to his house,
I
and
like
this
this.
was
This made me
the
laugh.
doorbell camera.
Yep. Hey man, how's it going? Are you Jake?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, so called in reference to your Facebook post.
The Eagles lost, man.
I know. So
I don't.
He says I know.
Eagles lost. Working.
I got you. You don't plan on hurting yourself?
No, the fucking Jalen Hurts threw 3 goddamn. Turned the ball over 6 times.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. All right, man. I appreciate it. All right. Take it easy.
I like how he said, I know. He's
Yeah, dude, that's such a Philly vibe. Like, yeah, I know, man. Like, he already knew going up to the door that, yeah, dude, I already know what this is. The dude's just fucking mad that the Eagles lost.
I like how he's unapologetic too. He goes, he turned the ball over 6 times.
Yeah, it's like I know, man. I want to kill myself too. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know who am I saying.
I think we're just saying thank you for those. You had 2 thank you ones.
Yeah.
All right.
For sure.
That's the C3 Panthers podcast. We're here at 9:00 live on Tuesday nights. Longest running Panthers podcast. Thank you for your time, attention, energy. Smash the thumbs up button, subscribe. Be a friend, tell a friend. Here on Friday nights, Sunday nights, or Sunday after the games. This is going to be a big one. Big post game. Be with us on Sunday. It's a 1:00 game. I got duped. I thought last week was going to be at 1:00. I was ready. I was like, shit, I guess I'm going to have to grade some papers right now, which was good. That's it. Cody Lack, take us out of here.
C3 Legion. We love y'all. Until next time, keep pounding.